Oh, dude, that's right. So Sam.
Result, it's not expected for you to know every little thing about a story in order to enjoy what's going on at that exact moment. It also doesn't help that not every Western comic book gets a Japanese translation. So many readers are happy to just read whatever they can get their hands on. And this is a really, really fascinating concept, considering that this is the number one reason why folks here in the West do not give comics a shot. They incorrectly assume they need to be familiar with decades and decades worth of continuity in order to enjoy a comic book, which you absolutely don't. It's kind of wild that many of the folks who claim that manga is the superior product because of their definitive starting and ending points are somehow more picky than people that are actually living in Japan who are excited to read whatever as long as it's entertaining. Many
Huh.
Japanese people, from what Tomihito explained to me, seem to not worry about the little details. They care about the plot. Fancy that. On top of that, it's not like Marvel and DC are the only comic
Hellboy.
book publishers that
Really?
exist. Independent comics have a
Oh, Scott Pilgrim. Oh my goodness. Oh, he looks so cute. I forgot about Scott Pilgrim was a comic. It's less of him. I did watch on Netflix, but I didn't finish it, and I don't think I've seen the movie. Sadly, I forgot how popular Scott Pilgrim is.
manga fueled them by being one writer from start to finish. So, there's plenty of great independent series that Japanese folks are also reading. Everything that Tomihito told me was backed up by Tatsuki at First Comics Nikibukudo, which has been in business for nearly 30 years.
Wow.
Tatsuki mentioned that his customers are generally half and half of their preferred language, but something that they have really appreciated are the collaborations that big comic publishers have been
Spider
doing.
Man. And then Superman, of course. And this is the Japanese version. Superman eating a bowl of noodles. What a coincidence. The Spider-Man cover looks really nice, though, honestly. And that's supposed to be Venom in the background. And I forgot what the other characters were. I'm sorry, I do have a little bit of a nerd, nerdy personality, even though it's not as high as other people, though. But you bought a Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Uh, yeah, 31. Even the ones that were harassing us because I don't know, like, if I get views, I get views, and that's fine. Because, well, at least I know they're not gonna be active anyway. Because Jesus and SS were blocked, and someone else was blocked by accident. So maybe if I unblock everyone, that might solve the issue. I'm not sure though. I have no idea, Dumbbell. It's definitely YouTube that's setting up for that. It has to be. You never heard of Scott Pilgrim? I don't know much about Scott Pilgrim though. It's a little like hard to talk about it though. It's supposed to be this boy that lives in Toronto, right? I forgot what year or second place, and he liked. I know this is weird, but in Canada, the law's a little different. He was dating a 17-year-old, and I think he was. He looks pretty young. And he basically joins a band, right? And he basically does rock. I think I don't know that much about Scott Pilgrim.
Reading manga versions of their most popular characters, like Spider-Man Fake Red and Superman vs. Neshi. And by the way, these comics are not a new phenomenon. Like, take a look at this beauty that I found.
X-Men? Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me. Wow, that's incredible.
Secondhand store. It is a nearly complete set of the manga adaptation.
Oh, by the way, his name is Comic Drake.
X-Men animated series. This manga was actually so popular that it got translated into English and brought back to the States in the 2000s.
Wow.
But it's been out of print for years, which is why I really love that it has recently been remastered by Viz Media and re-released just a few months ago at the time of its recording. This book is so good. I love it. I should also mention that non-manga comics are super popular in Japan as well, like It's Just and Infinity Comics. I mean, it doesn't hurt that they literally hired Japanese talent for them, like the always amazing Gurihiru and now Fuji. But of course, these are just the opinions of people that work at comic shops. What about regular Japanese comic fans? Well, for that, I went to Tokyo Comic Con, where Japanese...
It's so huge. Are you serious? That is so awesome. You gotta be kidding me.
The chance to meet professional comic book writers and artists, experience the vast history of Western comic books, show off their cosplays, and get their hands on merch from their favorite Western.
Fast and Furious. Are you serious? Oh, that rhymes. Fast and Furious. Are you serious?
Just like in America, despite being literally called Comic Con, the focus and emphasis is more so given to big movie and TV franchises. What's great is that because so much talent is already in town for the convention, the Brave and Bold Comic Art Expo, which is not affiliated with Tokyo Comic Con, happens the week prior, and it is all about meet and greets for Western comic book artists. At these festivals, I met up with some of my Japanese friends. This is Miki Okazaki, a cover artist who has recently broken into the Western comic book industry. Yuta here has been a fan of the channel for a good while, and Tomato wasn't able to sit down for an interview because she was too busy slapping the shit out of me at the Muscle Girl War that she works at.
That's hilarious. He has an Animal Crossing tattoo. That's funny.
Here's a few snippets from my interviews with both Mickey and Yuta. Is there anything special?
Actually, for me, I'm more interested in art or Western comics. For example, Mark Brooks, David Mack, those great artists always want to draw something. So many amazing artists always inspire me.
I just read Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky. Before that, I have no information or knowledge about it, but I really love the comic book, so I just started reading.
Oh, I wonder what comic that is.
Like Brian Michael Bendis. So
Daredevil?
Marvel, DC, there's so many histories. And so many
Oh, that's from the Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that shirt.
Their imagination. I think that is the most important thing about comic books. So I really like reading history.
There's no opportunity to know what is out there. So these years, Marvel or DC movies are very popular. So I think people get to know about it.
I watched. I am a movie.
Your English are really good.
Student, and after that, my mind just exploded. So when I started learning English, I just immediately started reading comics. When I started reading comics, I just don't know how to read them, or just I don't know where to buy those things. So I think there are so many people like me.
Hey, tell me about it. It was huge, isn't it? I have no idea, Dumbo. I guess it's some fun thing that they do. So that was funny just to look at that. The thing is, like, I forgot, me and Casey, we love comics, right? And we were all, like, we love DC because I have videos of us, like, when we were traveling other places, that she would wear her Batman shirt. She's obsessed with Batman. I kid you not. I mean, I even have my Batman shirt, but I lost it. It sucks.
Read comics, but they don't know how to read. So advertisement or more.
Oh, damn it, ad.
Be short staffed.
But yeah, my favorite DC hero, it would be Batman, because I mostly grew up with Batman. Well, because of Teen Titans, and that picture my mother took me when I was like 4, I think, because that's when she bought me that outfit. I could just share that, and then we're back.
Hobbies in Japanese. I think those kinds of hobbies really help those employees.
How do you feel about the recent changes Marvel and DC have been doing in terms of diversity, changing a lot of characters?
I really like it because I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
Before Shang-Chi movie or Asian characters, there are not so many Asian characters. But I think Greg Park or main Shang-Chi writers, they got the history and growth of the characters, and I really like that. Especially in Japan, there are there's no deep education about diversity like LGBT
Yeah.
or other
Racist. Mike. Discrimination, yeah.
So it's making me think about those problems
And be more open.
That was the first point of having interest in those things.
in my opinion, is actually good things. Uh, to see for me like female characters or um, more like Asian characters. Yeah, but sometimes people talk about it is like it's too pushy. So I don't know, but yeah, sometimes um, I agree with other people, but for me, it's very good things. Also, it makes me feel more motivated. So yeah, good thing. If they didn't do that, then when it will be happen. So
Wait, why does it say zero views?
sooner or later we have to do it. So it's good opportunity to see like these things.
Now, with all of that being said, I'm not.
Yeah, if she does love Batman Dumbbell, I think my MacBook is out again. 1042. Okay.
Gonna pretend like Western comics are some huge Japanese craze. It is still a very niche hobby. And although comic shops do exist, they're rare. Like they're pretty much just in Tokyo. But funnily enough, that's exactly what it's like to be a comic fan in America too. It's a niche hobby. Comic stores aren't everywhere, and it's funny that Yuna said something that comic fans like myself have been yelling about for ages. Comics don't advertise outside of comic stores.
That's
There are
true.
huge fans
That's true.
of comics in Japan, and like me, so maybe Marvel and DC should recognize them. Like I think in Japan, there are not so many advertisements of Marvel comics or DC comics, even Marvel movies. So I think the comics company should see Japan as a marketing place, a huge marketing place, and it's my personal opinion, but being comics leader in Japan is a really difficult thing because I'm not so good at English, but and there are not so
His
many
English is
friends
really
who
good.
speak, so I cannot share my passion with others.
But also, let's be honest here. Anime and movies are way more popular than the manga and Western comics that they're based on, because it is always going to be easier to sit and passively watch something rather than concentrate and read. But one of the many things that I love about Japan is that unlike most places in the world, print media isn't done. And that is in large part thanks to their amazing transit system. Most folks in the cities get around on trains and buses, and everyone from young children to salarymen to older folks are reading books, magazines, newspapers, and of course, manga.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, there are bookstores everywhere in Japan. And on top of that, Shonen Jump is sold at every single convenience store. It's almost as if you make the material easily accessible, it leads to sales. Who would have thought? Making comics be in their own special stores out of the way, it's not a good business model. Now, to give credit where it's due, Marvel does seem to understand that Japan is a great market for their comics. And when I went to Tokyo Comic Con, I was shocked to see that Marvel's editor in chief, C.B. Cebulski, had a table and was autographing away. I mean, granted, this is the same C.B. Cebulski that once adopted the pen name of Akira Yoshida and pretended to be a Japanese writer that wrote multiple Marvel books that were set in Japan, like Wolverine Soul Taker, Elektra the Hand, and Kitty Pryde Shadow and Flame. Look, the guy was super nice to me even before I mentioned that I was a comic book YouTuber. And he did give me his business card when I bluntly said that Marvel has been doing a terrible job of connecting with influencers. But I won't deny that it was a little odd to see him there given his controversial past, specifically with Japanese. But hey, at least Marvel has been doing a much better job at bringing in legitimate Japanese talent like the aforementioned Hiru and Peach Momoko, who has been killing it on Demon Days and Ultimate X-Men. I am so happy to say that the channel has been doing so well lately. Like, we passed 500,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a big celebratory video later, but I've been trying to use this newfound attention and money to travel a lot more because I'm really excited to see about what the Western comic book scene is like in other countries, especially
Yeah, it's
what English is the
lagging.
dominant language. And it has been clear that whether the comic
Yeah, and that's what he said, Dumbo. Oh, I hate my MacBook. I think the reason why I got a migraine because this damn thing is it's stressing me out. Oh, I wish I could just unplug it and just move it around. You know, that's why my brain hurts a little bit. Either way.
Japan, Mexico, Korea.
Wait,
France, the UK,
what about Mexico? Wait, what?
comic book scene is like in other countries, especially where English isn't the prominent language. And it has been clear that whether the comics come from the United States, Japan, Mexico.
So Mexico? That's Mexico? So you gotta be kidding me. No way. Enemigo de los Sobrenatural. Ooh, that looks interesting. It looks like a plunger. That's Mexico's version of comics? That's pretty neat. I'll look that up.
Korea, France, the UK, Italy, or anywhere.
Wow, he's going so fast.
Countries, especially where English isn't the prominent language. And it has been clear that whether the comics come from the United States, Japan, Mexico, Korea.
Wow, Koreans is pretty awesome too.
France, the UK, Italy, or so much. I'm going to have a big celebratory video later, but I've been trying to use this newfound attention and money to travel a lot more because I'm really excited to see about what the Western comic book scene is like in other countries, especially where English isn't the prominent language. And it has been clear that whether the comics come from the United States, Japan, Mexico, Korea.
What the heck? That's France? What the? It reminds me of that movie that I like to watch, The Fifth Element. It kind of gives me that vibe. Wow, France.
UK, Italy, or anywhere, comics are all being inspired and influenced by each other. There is no reason to be an elitist and try to put one country's.
So wait, what's Mexico's?
It's Japan, Mexico, Korea,
Enemigo?
France, UK, Italy, or anywhere, comics are all being inspired and influenced by each other. There is no reason to be an elitist and try to put one country's work above another.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, there are thousands upon thousands of great stories to enjoy. And I, for one, am happy to continue to talk about them regardless of where they're from. Even though Marvel and DC are the ones that get the most views and pay the bills. If you like this video, then why not consider subscribing or even watching another one? I would love to talk about more non-Marvel DC, non-American books, so let me know down there.
Yeah, so his name is Comic Drake, so it's actually easy to remember it. And I just had to give it a watch because, well, as someone that loves comics, right, I had to take a look. What's that video? Right passing teens as well as white people by telling their secret. Canyon Beast. I'll keep that channel in mind for later. So, Dumbbell, like, to give an example, right? I gotta give like a really good example. Man, I did find a handful of great channels today. So, let's just say, I don't know why. Like, my brother and I, we grew up with. I'm done hearing about the Reynolds stuff. Like, I just want to hear about comics for now. But you know, great for China, of course. Like, I need something different for once. But the thing is, my brother and I, we grew up with Batman, and I don't know why I like Batman so much. I guess it's because, well, we do like how suspense and it's dark, and at least for me, since I went through a lot of trauma in my life, I suppose. And it's like a way to cope, like how you like metal, right? I hope to put out that the live stream is working properly, which I can see it is, at least right now. And basically, I do have a gothic side, which is probably why, well, Casey, she's totally goth. I mean, she likes black, and I like black as well. And maybe that's how we got something in common. And, you know, it just, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I just love Batman. Maybe it's because of how, like, if you lose your loved one, like, you kind of want to have revenge, but at the same time, you want justice and you want to keep other people safe. Also, I wanted to share this because I used to watch this so many times. This is going to be a little silly. I'd like to share this. I used to use this in some of my intros when I used to do like T-Tunnels reactions. To the platform, right? Ruin their hair forever. Take a telegraph. Oh, love that. I love that.
Whereabouts? Speed is of the essence.
I wish I watched this growing up. I never seen the original Batman. My mother has.
Speed is of the essence.
I love that so damn much. Damn it. What's another? Because I love DC too. I can't think of many Marvel superheroes. Most because I did grow up a lot with DC, right? It's so funny. They're both different, but like sometimes you get them like mixed up. Deon was the other one. Oh yeah. So Superman, right? Because I love Superman. So let me bring that up. Deon, it was Superman 3. I need to watch that Superman, the new Superman that's supposed to. Wait, what? Icon. Huh? Ooh, the original. Ooh, well, that's interesting. Oh yeah, I missed some stuff here. Oh, it's called Icon, huh? Is that so? Oh yeah, I saw that Superman saves Lois in a helicopter. Yeah, Superman 1, right? Superman 2 was pretty good. My mother loves Superman. Oh my god. We grew up with this. We have. Especially her though. So I'm gonna bring up Superman. My favorite, this is my favorite scene. Let me find it. It's Superman 3, right? It was that robot scene. The robot lady. Robot lady. Let me bring that up. I love this scene so much. Honestly. All right, good. Your messages are great too. Wonderful. Well, that. Let me read your messages. Gladiator. Let's see. You like Batman as well, and yeah, I know that's pretty cool, isn't it? That they have all those. Yeah, Mexico's pretty cool. I just can't stop for the British one because I'm kind of curious. You only watched the original Batman was years ago, but I don't remember any of it, right? You never seen a bat? Oh, Dumba, you will love it. I recommend all of them. I totally recommend all of them. So this is Superman 3. This came out in 1983. Yeah, man, I love this start clip or scene so much. So basically, that's his sister that somehow turned to some robot. I do not know why. And then there's Superman coming up, right? And actually, this is kind of fun fact. Some of the scenes in this movie was filmed in my state. It was filmed up north. I actually read about it. Like they did Superman in my state. That's pretty cool, honestly. Oh, that's the background. Now I understand. I love the music. Oh, Buddha. And I forgot about this part. What is that that's pushing her up there? I forgot about the scene, literally. Speed this up a little bit. I don't know what that liquid is. I love the music. I love that music. It gives me that late 70s vibes. I mean, this was the early 80s. It's weird because it transfers into this weird, like, lava type of liquid. It's like gel. I forgot what happened in the scene because there's some, like, laboratory. Man, I love the music. I don't know why. Okay, what I love about being American, we literally have movies like this. I forgot. I underestimate almost way too much. Let's see. But yeah, Superman 3 is so good. It's so good. It's so good. Clark changes into Super. Oh crap! I've seen this. 1948. Really? 1948. I've only seen the original version, and then. So this is the history of Superman, right? Yeah, he did. I forgot his name. My mother would tell you. Oops, sorry about that. I forgot how he died. I forgot his name because my mother's a fan of the Superman. His name is George. Oh, they all have the name Reeves. His name is Christopher Reeves, I think, if I recall. Yep, Christopher Reeves. He was the one that was on that clip or scene I shown you, right? He's the most iconic out of all of the Superman actors. Oh yeah, Tom Welling. Yeah, my mother loves Tom Welling. That was on Smallville. So this is their Superman. Oh, what? They animated him? I know this is the 40s, but oh, that is so cool. Wow. Because with the lack of technology they had back then. Kirk Allen, so that's his name. And this is by Chatia J. Kent. That's her theme? Wow. Yeah, see, they animated. You could tell. Because of the lack of technology they had back then. (1948) Adam Man versus Superman, 1950. George Reeves. I wonder if it must be his father, maybe. It's her the same last name. Well, even for his age, huh? Wow. So, in the moment, so 1952 to 1958. Wow. And this is what we know, Christopher Reeve. Yep, the best theme. Plus, he is pretty attractive. Wow. No wonder my mother loves the original. Amazing. So photos were 75 cents back then? Wow. Well, I wonder where that little boy is to this day. He's like my mother's age. Okay, that's interesting. The way he just changes inside the police car. Wow. Incredible. It's amazing this got like 7 million views. I grew up watching Christopher Reeves in the 70s, and for me, he's still the best Superman. I agree. I'm 60 now and still get goosebumps watching him. May he rest in peace. Yeah. Yep. Superman 1, 2, 3, and what's the other one? I only see the first three. Basically the best one. Superman 4. Oh, I didn't see Superman 4. Wow, he's been doing that for ages. John Haynes? Newton. Oh, yeah, this is like so late 80s. Oh, this is so late 80s. Are you kidding me? Oh, I love it. Jeez. No wonder it's your accent and all that stuff back then. What year is this? It's amazing there's so many of them, yeah. $1988, yeah, definitely late 80s. Yeah, who knew? Wow. Jero Christopher. Huh. Yeah, they're fine. They're just sensitive to noise. That's all. Yeah, Dumba, I guess it's so people will know that's him. Because he has to be like really low key. God, Superman's a little bit belly there. So cute though. 1989 to 1992. Wow. Dean Kane. Never heard of him. 1993 to 1997, huh? Yeah, my mother's favorite, Tom Welling. Oh, she loves him so much. Help me right through somebody say don't care what you do. Say, come on. I've been waiting for you. She always sings this song. My mother's obsessed with him. He's definitely the best behind Christopher Reeves. So that's 2001, 2011. Who knew? Wow. And 2019. Oh, to bring it back by Brendan Roof. He looks like him too, like the original. Kind of like a doppelganger. Yeah, he looks like just like the original. Weird. Oh, he's probably wearing contacts. 2006 and 2000. Oh, interesting. Henry Cavill, huh? So this is the Superman that I haven't seen yet. That a lot of people like, so I've heard. Yeah, he's an amazing, amazing actor. So his name is Henry Cavill, huh? Wow. So 2016, 2017, and 2021. Wow. Incredible. And Tyler Hoechlin? Huh. Oh, I didn't know it was on CW. Huh. It's amazing his letter is different. Wow. They're all unique. I wanted to say that. It was on Supergirl, huh? Wow. So I know people probably don't like his design, and I get that, but they're all great actors, period. So Christopher Reeves, Tyler Hoechlin, right, and Henry Cavill. Really? It's amazing. All these like older viewers, I can see why. Oh, whoops. My bad. I didn't meant to play the whole thing. You know, I was doing voiceover. Okay.
Considering the first two Superman movies made over $500 million at the worldwide box office, it was absolutely no surprise that a Superman 3 would take place. Besides, it was promised in the closing
Okay, should be working.
with the success of Superman and its sequel, superhero movies were in the earliest iteration of franchise mode. In short, strong box office numbers guaranteed another movie, no matter how bad it could possibly turn out. And Superman 3 is just about as bad as it could possibly turn out, generally ranking among the worst superhero sequels ever, and a prime example of what happens to a series' reputation when things go wrong with the script, cast, and hell, even the opening credits. How about it? My God, Superman is a nightmare. So, let's go from Superman to Super Mean to Super Machine as we find out what the happened to this movie.
No, Superman 3 is good.
Superman.
I think so.
At the 1980 Cannes Film Festival.
Man, people like Superman 3. I think Superman 3 is awesome. So his name is Joe Blow Originals. What the? Why does he not get many views though? His channel looks really interesting. Hopefully the live stream is working right now. I did got copyright. So that's my mistake. Maybe it's the music, so I'm not sure. So that's my mistake. You know, I did want to get credit and do voiceover because I know people's attention span are not that good, and plus I do want to show like what I'm watching.
Over a year before Superman 2 was even scheduled to hit North American theaters. It would even later be hyped at the following year's Cannes Film Festival, with banners on biplanes declaring the movie was now in production. It was determined this was a lie. Superman 3 was far from ready to take flight. The plan for Superman 3 was for Richard Donner, who helmed Superman and Superman 2, or at least the Richard Donner cut, to write the screenplay, passing the coveted directing torch to Tom Mankiewicz, a key figure in
Superman
the
2?
first two Superman
Yep.
movies, and who was then known for co-writing Bond flicks Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, and The Man with the Golden Gun. By the end of 1980, Elias Salkin, who, along with his father Alexander, was dominant in the franchise, turned in an 8-page outline. On these pages was a lot of material that would be discarded once official writers were put in place. But more on that in a moment. There was time travel and interdimensional shenanigans with Brainiac and Mr. Mxyzptlk,
Who?
that's how it's pronounced, as primary villains. There too would be Supergirl, who was
Yep.
set up to be found by Brainiac, taking on a sort of surrogate father role. Also on the family front, Salkin had it so Superman and Supergirl would eventually get married, either at the end of Superman 3 or sometime in the planned Superman 4. The two would develop a romance throughout Superman 3, with Salkin going out of the way to ensure fans that their canon relationship as cousins was not in play in the movie, lest there be some sort of Luke Leia situation. As for what Brainiac and Mxyzptlk would be up to, one sequence would find Superman and Brainiac dueling it out as knights on horses, while sometime after that, Mxyzptlk would betray Superman after a temporary truce and challenge him to do a puzzle, okay? To top it off, he was designed to be played by Dudley Moore. Oh,
Oh, I love that. I love that ad. All right, the message. It's a delay, so I'm a little tired.
thought there were too many minor characters from the Superman comics, and so this script was basically gutted. Although some elements do remain, like the good versus evil Superman scene. Here, Superman faces off against another version of himself in a scrapyard.
I didn't saw that.
Interestingly enough, the movie was actually originally titled Superman versus Superman, but this was ditched because it was too similar to 1979 Best Picture winner Kramer versus Kramer. Moving forward,
Oh.
script duties would fall on franchise stalwarts Deon and Leslie Newman, penning a script which Donner disliked and Christopher Reeve continued to find too campy, making it known that he wanted to sit this entry out. That one subplot was later used and referenced in Office Space should tell you the tone here. The studio reportedly considered a full replacement for Reed, with names like Jeff Bridges, John Travolta, Kurt Russell, and Tony Danza all linked at one point to the role. However, it should be noted that producer Pierre Spangler called the Danza rumor, quote, bullshit. Moving into director duties would be Richard Lester, who famously, or maybe infamously, took over from Richard Donner on Superman 2, but that's an entirely different episode of What the Fuck Happened to This Movie. Just to remind you of Lester's style, he was really best known for lighter fare like the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night and Help, as well as the 3 and 4 Musketeers. Christopher Reeve would, of course, return as Clark Kent, aka Superman. Spoiler alert, by the way, while Jackie Cooper and Mark McClure would also reprise Daily Planet editor Perry White and photojournalist Jimmy Olsen, respectively. And there was Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. For a few minutes, anyway. Things were so chaotic making Superman 2 that key cast members such as Kidder couldn't help themselves but be outspoken about behind-the-scenes drama. Lex Luthor himself, Gene Hackman, was also rumored to have been rather vocal, but he later debunked this, which is easy enough to believe since he came back for Superman 4. But Kidder and Lois Lane would straight up be written out, other than a brief appearance, reportedly being on set for just 5 days. But those behind the scenes also defended her lack of screen time by saying they just didn't have much more for Lois Lane to do, and so they shipped her off to Hong Kong. Something mentioned in the very first sentence of Salkin's outline, showing just how much they wanted Margot Kidder out. Instead, we got Annette O'Toole as childhood friend Lana Lang, who was actually first introduced in the original Superman. We also have Robert Vaughn as Ross Bubba Webster, a role that Alan Alda was reportedly the top choice for, with Frank Langella also being considered. Langella would get his spot in the franchise as Perry White in Superman Returns.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our Joe Blow channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Taking the lead antagonist spot from Lex Luthor, Webster is the sort
Oh
of guy
boy, the
who
messages
stuff
are too
with
many.
supercomputers
Oh
and
boy.
missiles and, yeah, cyborgs. You know, the usual supervillain stuff. There too is Ross as his sister Vera, who is turned into the aforementioned cyborg in a truly haunting sequence.
So I've
But we
heard.
have yet to hit on the star of Superman 3. And if you're thinking you already covered Christopher Reeve, then you're mistaken as to who the real lead of the threequel is. Enter Richard Pryor as Gus Gorman. By this point, Pryor had a successful movie career with flicks like Stir Crazy and The Toy. Naturally, he provided much of the movie's comedic relief, or at least the intentional kind. Already a successful presence on the stage and screen, Pryor went so far as to declare his love for Superman on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, which gave producers the idea to cast him in the crucial role. But so much attention and screen time was given to Gus that it feels less like a Superman movie than a Richard Pryor comedy, and that stands as one of the biggest problems with Superman 3. Oddly, though, Pryor was hardly featured on any tie-in merchandise, which some have perceived as racism on the part of the studio. Christopher Reeve fared much better despite feeling like a supporting player, landing top billing for the first time in the series, as he was previously outshined by Gene Hackman and Marlon Brando. Wasn't it bad enough he was already making $3.7 million for 12 days of work? On the truly supporting role front, first viewers will notice Aaron Smolinski, who played baby Clark Kent in the 1978 original, in the opening sequence.
Oh.
Also originally had a cameo, but this was cut, only later used in the extended TV version. More on that shortly. Filming on Superman 3 began on June 21st, 1982, more than 2 years after it was first advertised at the Cannes Film Festival. Locations included London's famed Pinewood Studio, with other various locales as diverse as Calgary and Utah. As for the
Utah
coal sequence, that was shot at Battersea Power Station, which you might recognize from the cover of Pink Floyd's Animals album. And no, the sequence where evil Superman is being a bit of a dick was not actually shot at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That was merely a special effect. Speaking of visual effects, video game pioneers Atari actually did the effects for the scene in which a computer is used to shoot missiles at a flying Superman, even using a 35mm film recorder, a major meshing of mediums for the time. And okay, it looks lousy 40 plus years later, but it still looks a hell of a lot better than that god-awful Nintendo 64 game. On the music front, Ken Thorne is credited using part of John Williams' original iconic score as a launching point, although he did create his own numbers from scratch as well. Giorgio Moroder, then known for his American Gigolo and Cat People scores, made minimal contributions on the song front, but of course brought his trademark synth sounds. The bulk of his work can be heard on side B of the soundtrack. Superman 3 would be released on June 17, 1983, opening at number 1 with $13.4 million.
Wow.
Finally bumping Return of the Jedi from the top spot after 3 weeks.
All right, Dumbo, I hope you can still hear me. There's something wrong at the darn tab, so I gotta switch over. And since I can't really share the screen from here, your back hurts. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, the first one came out in 248, and now it's the Cheese ad. And does the Superman house shows as well? Yeah, he does. Absolutely. I don't think the real post have a black Superman. I doubt it. I totally doubt it, actually. My brain hurts. It sucks it's not loading on here. Man, I got no views, huh? And like, I know it's a live stream. Yikes. I think I'm pushing my body too much right now.
During its run, it would pull in $60 million domestically, which wasn't quite enough to put it in the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year. Coming in at number 11, just behind National Lampoon's Vacation, it would take in another $20 million international, which would put it at number 8 worldwide. Compare that to the first Superman with a take of $134 million and the first sequel with its own $108 million, and you're looking at a super dud. But it wasn't just the box office numbers that made it a disappointment. It was the quality
Oh,
of the
good.
movie
You can hear
itself.
me?
As Spangler put it, the sequel was not as successful as the first or the second. Probably because of us trying to be too smart and not delivering to the audience basically the same movie as the first two. It's something which we've analyzed since. If you look at a series like Rocky, you've got 5 times the same movie, and the audience is happy with it.
Yeah, tell me about
Christopher
it.
Reeve himself disliked the movie, calling it, quote, the Harvard Lampoon version of the Superman movies. To give you an idea of what he means, the script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, for a piece of shit, it smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to
what?
Jim Nabors in Stroker Race. Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, for a piece of shit, it smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to Jim Nabors in Stroker Race. The other would be for Worst Score, credited to Marotta. Like the first 2 Superman movies, Superman 3 had its own TV version. This one clocking in close to 20 minutes longer. There are a handful of cut scenes and shots, but the only true improvement here was an updated opening credit sequence that mimicked the first 2 movies instead of the obtrusive version in the original, which blocked portions of the on-screen action. Even still, one of the most criticized elements of the movie remained. Martha Kent's death was still an afterthought. Believe it or not, Batman vs. Superman ended up having the right idea. Save Martha. More than 4 decades on, Superman 3 holds a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, well below the original's 94% and Superman 2's 83%. But it is at least quite a bit better than the Quest for Pieces score, which rests at 10%.
Wonderful mushroom sauce and champagne. In case we get hungry afterwards. I mean, later.
You shouldn't have gone all that trouble.
But at least Superman 3 had the brains and not tease the neck.
Oh, Dumbo, thank you. Yeah, I know I just feel guilty because I know I'm not doing much right now. I think I'm live streaming too much. I am. I think that's probably why the others are not getting notified, and I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying. I definitely need to, yeah, you can tell I'm tired, can you? Yeah, my brain is a little heavy.
Installment like its predecessors did. After all, who really wanted Superman 4? Wonder what the happened to that movie. On-screen action. Even still, one of the most criticized elements of the movie remained. Martha Kent's death was still an afterthought. Believe it or not, Batman vs. Superman ended up having the right idea. Save Martha. More than 4 decades on, Superman 3 holds a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, well below the original's 94% and Superman 2's 83%. but it is at least quite a bit better than the Quest for Pieces score, which rests at 10%.
Wonderful mushroom sauce with champagne. In case we got hungry afterwards. I mean, later.
You shouldn't have gone all that trouble.
But at least Superman 3 had the brains and not tease the next installment like its predecessors did. After all, who really wanted Superman 4? Wonder what the happened to that movie?
Oh, that's YouTube Music Library. I was wondering what that background music was.
After 3 weeks, during its run, it would pull in $60 million domestically, which wasn't quite enough to put it in the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year. Coming in at number 11, just behind National Lampoon's Vacation, it would take in another $20 million international, which would put it at number 8 worldwide. Compare that to the first Superman with a take of $134 million and the first sequel with its own $108 million, and you're looking at a super dud. But it wasn't just the box office numbers that made it a disappointment. It was the quality of the movie itself. As Spengler put it, the sequel was not as successful as the first or the second, probably because of us trying to be too smart and not delivering to the audience basically the same movie as the first two. It's something which we've analyzed since. If you look at a series like Rocky, you've got 5 times the same movie, and the audience is happy with it. Christopher Reeve himself disliked the movie, calling it, quote, the Harvard Lampoon version of the Superman movies. To give you an idea of what he means, the script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, for a piece of shit, this smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations.
What is that? Man, I want the background music. I can hear it.
No doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to Jim Nabors in Stroker Ace. The other would be for Worst Score, credited
Wish you knew. Yeah,
like
same
the
here.
first 2 Superman movies. Superman
Thank you, Dumba. I know I
only
have been
CD
doing my
version.
best.
This one clocking in close to 20 minutes longer. There are a handful of cut scenes and shots, but the only true improvement here was an updated opening credit sequence that mimicked the first 2 movies instead of the obtrusive version in the original, which blocked portions of the on-screen action. Even still, one of the most
You like the
criticized
background
elements
music as
of
well,
the movie,
Dumbo?
Remington,
Yeah, I'm surprised you can
Martha
hear it.
Kent's death was still an afterthought. Believe it or not, Batman vs. Superman ended up having the right idea. Save Martha. More than 4 decades on, Superman 3 holds a 29% on Rotten
How's
Tomatoes,
that possible,
well below
though?
the original's
I like
94%
Superman 3.
and Superman 2's 83%. But it is at least quite a bit better than the Quest for Pieces score, which rests at 10%.
Wonderful mushroom sauce with champagne. In case we got hungry afterwards. I mean, later.
You shouldn't have gone all that trouble.
But at least Superman 3 had the brains and not tease the next installment like its predecessors did. After all, who really wanted Superman 4? Wonder.
Wait, so they had Superman 4, right? And I'm sorry, I love that music in the background.
Put it at number 8 worldwide. Compare that to the first Superman with a take of $134 million.
So they made that much the
sequel
first
with its
one,
own
huh?
$108 million.
The second one didn't make us. That's interesting.
Super dud. But it wasn't just the box office numbers that made it a disappointment. It was the quality of the movie itself. As Spengler put it, the sequel was not as successful as the first or the second, probably because of us trying to be too smart and not delivering to the audience basically the same movie as the first 2. It's something which we've analyzed since. If you look at a series like Rocky, you've got 5 times the same movie, and the audience is happy with it.
Right.
Christopher Reeve himself disliked the movie, calling it, quote, the Harvard Lampoon version of the Superman
Harvard
movies.
Lampoon.
To give you an idea of what he means, the script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, for a piece of shit, this smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor.
Worst supporting actor. Yeah, it's one 46 mark.
It smells great, no doubt referring to
That
his
music.
$5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2.
That's interesting. Worst supporting. I didn't know you could get a award for that. Worst musical score, really.
Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to Jim Neighbors.
So the second movie didn't make as much. Yeah, pretty much. He did have a crossover of Batman, absolutely. It's called the Superman versus Batman. I don't know how long ago it came out though. I noticed how you are rewinding. And you could tell, huh? I don't know why. I love hearing it. I'm surprised you can. I'm surprised you can hear. I have good ears.
As Kojak, no less, for Lex Luthor.
Hear me turn
Richard
up?
Pryor said, "For a piece of shit, it smells great." No doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor.
They say that's from the man. I love that music. It's from the YouTube library.
Was great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst.
I'm sorry, like where is that soundtrack? Plus, I like how I see the American flags waving. I can't help it.
Shit, it smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing.
How can you get like award for being a? I didn't know you could get an award for that. I mean, like you could get an award for being a stunt double, maybe, but a supporting actor, like I didn't know that exists.
$5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to.
It's just so weird how people are dressed like that back then. I'm shocked. I know this is during my mother's era, but that's kind of weird to think about it. This is definitely so this is during the early 80s, right? It still gives me that 70s vibe with the big sunglasses. I love it. God, we keep a long way when it comes to fashion. Golly.
It smells great, no doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations.
So this is the mid 80s? Yeah, definitely. But it's so weird because they still just like they're from the 70s. It's strange. Like in the 90s, well, we did kind of just like in the 80s. So, oh, I get it. Yeah, because we talk about the end, like, yeah, mid 80s, right? Mid 90s, whatever. And then mid 2000s, we still just like from the 90s, didn't we? Late 90s. Yeah, now I remember from that old photo that I took. I'm sorry, I'm getting some weird, like, it's so weird how hearing like music like this gives me like weird nostalgia. I don't know why. It's an autistic thing for sure. The YouTube library, remember, it's mostly based off the music that you can choose when you do like videos. I forgot that was a thing that you could use as a feature. And yeah, I know you can get a award for that. It's just that's what it says. It says here Razzie Awards. There's worst supporting actor and worst music. Well, you can't get a award for that, but that's what it says on here for those actors.
The script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas as Kojak, no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, "For a piece of shit, it smells great." No doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to Jim Neighbors in Stroker Race. The other would be for Worst Score, credited to Morota. Like the first 2 Superman movies, Superman 3 had its own TV version. This one clocking in close to 20 minutes longer. There are a handful of cut scenes and shots, but the only true improvement here was an updated opening credit sequence that mimicked the first 2 movies instead of the obtrusive version in the
What the hell is going on in that scene?
Cut scenes and shots, but the only true improvement here was an updated opening credit sequence that mimicked the first two movies instead of the obtrusive version in the original, which blocked portions of the on-screen action.
Weird. You like hearing that? It smells great. Me too. I know. It's funny, isn't it? I don't know why. I was paying attention to that too. I just noticed that, right? It's kind of funny.
It means the script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, "For a piece of shit, this smells great." No doubt referring to his.
Oh yeah, now it's starting to kick in. I was paying attention to the music.
As Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, "For a piece of shit, this smells great." No doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations. To give you an idea of what he means, the script originally had a moment where Superman mistakes Telly Savalas, as Kojak no less, for Lex Luthor. Richard Pryor said, "For a piece of shit, this smells great." No doubt referring to his $5 million payday. Pryor would also land one of the movie's 2 Razzie nominations for Worst Supporting Actor, losing to Jim Neighbor.
Yeah, that's a good line. And it happens at the same time as the music too. I know, isn't that funny? I don't know how I found this video. It just popped up. It sucks his other like his channel's like deserted. He can't even get like more than like more than like 10,000 views, and he has like almost 1 million subscribers. Wait, he does stuff to others? Like, interesting. Who the hell is Zachary Levi? I never heard of him. Oh my Buddha. The Valiant. Oh, that movie. Oh, that movie sucked. Oh my God. I forgot about that movie. Because the movie, we're supposed to like meet aliens like 100 or whatever years from now, right? That's the only best part of the movie. The rest of it sucked. It's called or named Valerian and the Thousand Planets or something. I don't remember the name of it. Oh, that movie sucked. The only good part is just to see the cool alien creatures in like the first 4 minutes. That's it. They did a terrible job with that movie.
In the City of 1,000 Planets was announced.
Oh, it's a different voice actor or different. This channel must be shared. That's probably why. It's called Valerian. Valerian.
Cinema, with the visionary director Luc Besson at the helm, best known for his beloved sci-fi classic The Fifth Element. Audiences
I love The Fifth Element.
Space Odyssey, based on a series of groundbreaking French comic books. Besson's ambitious goal was to build a cosmic saga with cutting-edge visuals, a sprawling narrative, and an impressive budget of nearly $200 million, making it one of the most expensive European films ever.
The actors look like teenagers.
Cast, including Dane DeHaan, Cara Delevingne, and Rihanna.
Oh, I forgot Rihanna was in there.
Chapter in science fiction cinema. However, when Valerian hit theaters in 2017, the results were disappointing. While praised for its groundbreaking visuals and vast world building, it failed to connect with mainstream audiences and ultimately suffered a massive financial blow. So, what exactly went wrong with it? Well, today we're going to dive into the making of the film, its inspirations, its marketing, and the factors that led to its struggles both critically and financially. Valerian and Laureline, the comic series on which Besson's film is based, is a French science fiction comic series created by writer Pierre Christine and artiste Jean-Claude Mézières in 1967.
It's a good movie, Dumbo.
Fan base, celebrated for its imaginative worlds, complex narratives, and the dynamic relationship between its protagonists. The series' influence spread across generations, and it was a noted inspiration for Star Wars, Blade Runner and Besant's own The Fifth Element. The idea of adapting Valerian and Laureline for the big screen was something that had lingered with Besant for decades. After the success of The Fifth Element, he felt ready to tackle Valerian. Yet, the technology necessary to fully realize its universe wasn't available. It wasn't until James Cameron's Avatar in 2009 that Besant saw the potential for CGI to bring his vision to life. In his words, Valerian had to wait for technology to catch up. Fueled by his passion for the material, the song took the risk of assembling an enormous budget to do justice to the story's scale and intricacies.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our Joe Blow channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
To bring the movie to life, the song launched what could be described as a one-man production powerhouse. His company, EuropaCorp, secured the film's record-breaking $180 million budget through a combination of foreign pre-sales and personal investment. The stakes were high, as Besant's financial commitment was essentially a personal gamble. The production design and visual effects were critical. The song and his team spent an extensive amount of time constructing the city of a thousand planets, a massive intergalactic metropolis inhabited by countless alien species. This world building required extensive CGI, with teams of visual effects artists working to create over 2,500 VFX shots, more than any other film of its time. Legendary concept artist Jean-Claude Mézières, co-creator of the original comic, was brought on board to help bring the comic's visuals to life, ensuring fidelity.
Oh, no, but that's okay.
The song also focused on hiring
the name of the video.
He cast Dane DeHaan as Valerian and Cara Delevingne as Laureline, hoping their chemistry and youthfulness would appeal to modern audiences. However, this casting was a point of contention. Many critics felt DeHaan lacked the charisma needed for a heroic lead, while others argued Delevingne.
Why Valerian became a $200 million box office disaster. If you need to rest, you can. I think I haven't live streaming too much.
They were given limited screen time, making their roles feel more like cameos than integral parts of the story.
So, movie soldier.
That was pretty cool. Valerian received high praise for its visual grandeur. The film's design, from its alien inhabitants to the dazzling digital landscapes, was hailed as a feast for the eyes. Certain sequences, like the opening montage showing Earth's diplomatic outreach to other species in the market on the desert planet, were seen as extraordinary showcases of technical creativity. However, despite its mesmerizing appearance, the story itself felt hollow for many. The film's plot followed Valerian and Laureline, two space agents tasked with investigating a mysterious threat to Alpha, the titular city of a thousand planets. Despite the high stakes, many found the plot convoluted and difficult to follow. The script criticized for its lack of depth, sacrificing character development for spectacle. The chemistry between Valerian and Laureline, a core element of the comics, was subdued. Critics argued that the dialogue was often clunky and that the relationship between the two leads failed to ignite the charm and romantic tension seen in the comics. The song's vision of a grand space opera came across as overly ambitious, with the plot often wandering off in different directions. Moments that could have been emotionally impactful were overshadowed by the emphasis on visual splendor. As a result, the narrative structure felt uneven, with certain scenes dragging while others moved too quickly.
Yeah, Dumbo, go ahead. Of course. I think I should only post once a day.
Well, what about Chinese working class? It looks like most of the Chinese people on the red note are geared toward middle class to upper middle class Chinese women. What about Chinese working class? So there are basically three big Chinese social media apps. There's Douyin, which is the real Chinese TikTok. There's twice which and then there's Red Note. In that order. So Red Note is only number three social media platform in China with 200 million followers. The biggest platform, of course, is Douyin. I unfortunately people outside of China cannot register for an account yet.
But that's fine.
Phone number. However, if you have an Android phone, you can go to the website to download the app directly and then
Oh, so that's what he says.
followers. The biggest platform, of course, is Douyin. Unfortunately, people outside of China cannot register for an account yet unless they have a Chinese phone number. However, if you have an Android phone, you can go to the website to download the app directly, and then you can browse, even though you cannot have your own account, but you can browse the content. So I found this account of a Chinese truck driver, and his working class life is quite fascinating. He was single, so he traveled to Nepal, where he met his Nepali wife. After living in Nepal for 7 months, he brought his wife back to China to live with him, to live the trucker life.
Oh, interesting.
今天驾驶老板两块钱吗？今天没个子同意结婚，所以说人没通知他父母，完了之后情人节今天我就上那个少神庙，就是这边。对，这是 OK。这是给庙给庙钱，
Hmm.
这结婚了。今天都没想到能结婚，所以说这是昨天是，今天是情人节，昨天跟他一说，今天明天结婚吧，正好情人节。
Hmm.
¿Cuál sería?
I'm not sure. Like chicken nuggets, Dumbo. I'm not sure. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, lucky. You got noodles. That sounds good. Chicken, corn, and sparkling water. That sounds good. That sounds really good.
And it was a horrible 14 hours. I mean, I was asleep for the most part of it. But a world without TikTok is a world I don't want to be in. But today we're not getting into the TikTok ban. I already covered that in a live stream, and I was really upset about it. I can't. Oh, so ignorant. They're so stupid. You pay money for this man to ask the stupidest question.
I love corn, yeah. Especially corn on the cob. Oh, you had to worry, Dumbo. Yeah, that's too sweet of you. You're a sweetheart for that. I wouldn't mind sharing like my burritos with you, to be honest.
Middle class, 4-story homes, and they're 10,000 high tech electric vehicle cars, and they're $600 a month in house apartments. The government's been lying to it. And granted, I've kind of known China's been goaded for a while, but a lot of Americans' eyes have been opened up completely by the life in China and how great it is compared to wherever they are in Ohio or Indiana. And you should also check out this creator on YouTube. He does a great live of showing what it is like being an American in China and showing off the trains. That was the thing I focused on the most. Maybe, I don't know, the autistic fixation.
Are you serious,
But I
Dumbo?
love his train videos.
Really?
Exploring the app a little bit.
Burritos are so delicious. In my opinion, I think they're healthy too, because I eat them a lot. I'm shocked you never ate one. Wow.
My own content on Java Shoot. Introduce myself to the Chinese people and be accommodating and give them some subtitles. Hi everyone, I was moving over to this app because TikTok got there. So I just wanted to introduce myself in my first ever video.
小红书
And it shocked me when I saw the immediate reach this video got, 3,000 views instantly. But beyond that, I know Xiaohongshu has much higher engagement than regular social media apps. Maybe this is because of all the bot problems American social media apps deal with, but it seems like people were just commenting and liking more per viewer. And not a single person was mad I was on the app. They were all so welcoming and kind. They were literally saying, "Welcome to China," like I had just arrived off the boat. And after my first successful video post, I decided might as well do a photo post. It seems like the feed on Xiaohongshu is sort of separated between videos and photos as you scroll through, and it gives a bit of a vibe of almost what Instagram should be. Forget I said that when I was out word. I don't want to give you any ideas. But I made a post saying, I'm from California.
So I'm watching more of these again. I just can't skip these videos of that Chinese app. And this is by Devon Street. I was just curious, and I had to take a look. It's so good, watching videos like this.
Ask me anything. And this post instantly viral. 145,000 views and almost 6,000 comments and questions. And everyone was super nice. They were asking if I was okay from the fires since I'm close to LA. They were asking me what food was good, as well as what people I may have known that they knew that had moved to California. It was really cool and sweet. And then my inbox got flooded with DMs of asking more intimate questions and personal questions that they didn't really feel comfortable posting on the comments. For instance, will you be punished for discussing Jews? I know what he means by that. And I looked it up, and there's not necessarily a word for what he's trying to talk about discussing. So I did my best to try to explain to him the difference, and he was super nice. He was wanting to make sure he didn't offend anybody, and he was trying to understand. And then our messages started getting deleted. I'm not joking. We were talking to each other, and real time messages were going away. So then he started explaining
That's crazy.
censorship policy and how you can't talk about certain things, and that we would start using code words to explain our conversations with each other. It was a different type of censorship that I had not really seen on social media before. Granted, American social media will just not push something out. They'll just sort of quietly ban it and block it. So when you post it, no impressions, but hey, maybe your content's just not good. So after that conversation, I decided.
Wow, no wonder the Chinese app is much better. So us, like Americans, we're so harsh because you can get banned for saying a certain word. Yeah, like what happened to me on my YouTube channel. Oh, wow. Interesting. I wish I could download this app. Damn it. Man, I swear I hate this because in a good way. Like, I can't imagine meeting a lot of people and especially they ask me, "Oh, you have Chinese descent?" And oh man, I can't imagine if I would get many messages like, "Oh yeah, there are well, I don't know. Like, I never met a person that's black and Chinese before or something." I feel like in US we value our freedom of speech over everything. Yeah, we do. While I support 100%, sometimes I think we only need it because there's so much we need to fight for. Mhm. So some of the freedoms we have here in the US might not be so important. That's true. Dumbo, it's not. I mean, you want to know something? I wish I was. I hate. Man, I hate saying this. I kind of wish I was born in China. Boy, I can't imagine how Darren would feel. He'd probably be flattered if he heard that. I love our country. I do. But it's nice to explore. Damn Street's interesting. He doesn't get many views though, but his channel's not bad.
Make a new video with all the people that had followed me from all the views I got, talking about how much I love this app now and I'm glad to be here and everything. And then that video immediately got held for review. I requested for them to accelerate the review on it, and it just didn't do anything. The video just kept staying in review, and it's still in review right now as I'm recording. And then the next day, I tried posting a picture of a dumpling in a store and trying to show the price of it so Chinese people could compare, and that got held for review as well. It seems like after having those DM conversations with people where I said some things that are clearly censored by the government, that all my videos and posts got held for review after having a pretty viral post right before those conversations. So I've kind of just given up on posting because all my posts are just held in review and I can't dispute them or anything or stop the process. It's just, they're just kind of stuck there. But trying to shed some nicer light on things, I went back to my DMs and started responding to people and having conversations. There was one specific person asking to be my friend, and I reviewed their profile and I wondered, is this person trans? Without exposing them at all, this person's profile was clearly a man who was dressing up in feminine.
Really?
He was like, is that really allowed in China? So I just decided to straight up ask. I was like, hey, are you trans or are you a cosplayer or what's going on? And they told me, no, I'm just a guy who likes to dress in women's clothing. And I was like, that's allowed in China? What? And he explained.
Yeah, I'm surprised it is allowed in China. I mean, we do that here in the US and people don't care. I'm shocked.
Actually really acceptable by the young people in China to be able to dress like this and be accepted. Some of the older people may look at it a little weird, but there's nothing illegal about it. You're not going to be put to death for it or anything. So once again, the American propaganda machine has failed. One guy that reached out to me was a high schooler who was still learning his English and was asking me.
Wow, didn't know that Chinese app is that friendly. Like, you would get people messaging you. I hate this. Like, I feel like, boy, I'll get like death threats or doxxed. Like, man, no wonder. Or I mean, I love our country, but at the same time, like, this is how we treat each other. Like, oh yeah, you like you have to say skippity or I'll bum your house or you stink. Like, I wonder why us Americans feel a little embarrassed. Like, we hate ourselves. Like, it's okay to hate yourself, but not like as in you wanted to hurt someone. His name, Dumbbell, it's Devin Street. That's his name.
Practice with him, and probably for a solid 30 minutes to an hour, I was practicing English with this guy and helping him out, and he got better over time. It was surprising. It was great. And then there was a lot of more wholesome stuff, like a girl asking me if the English name Georgia was nice, and I let her know it sounds great, and she seemed like she was just going.
Oh, that's cute. So that's what the messages look like. That's what private messages look like? Wow. Welcome to Xiang Hongshi. I want to ask you, what do you think of my English name, Georgia? I got it from internet 2 years ago. That's cute. And I love it because my Chinese name sounds like Georgia. Yeah, it is a beautiful name. Are you kidding me? I usually use it when having oral English class. Oral, what's that? Interesting. I want to know what American people would think if they hear my English name. Interesting.
That name now. So I helped someone get their American name. That's pretty cool. And then someone just asked, "Can you help me?" So I said yes. They proceeded to send me their English homework. And then another guy reached out and said, "Hey, I'm with the Yeon Shi Daily Press. We want to do some interviews about the influence of visa-free policy."
Wow.
He then sent over a bunch of questions, and I recorded a video doing the interview and everything. And now I'm going to be in Chinese media. Now,
That's
I already
awesome.
knew an influencer who was on Zhao Hongshu, and I've talked about it with her before, but I didn't really know much about the app. So I reached out to her and asked if she wanted to do an interview discussing the app and what she thought about it. So I'm going to go ahead and send it over there right now. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about what you do on Zhao Hongshu?
My username is Rina.Young. It's the same one.
That's what I'm wondering. They look like Twitter. I didn't notice that. Really? Kinda, huh?
And it's the same Southern Shoe. And Yahoo, I started posting videos on there like 4 years ago, I would say. And I was just randomly posting my videos from the dancing studio because I love dancing. So I have a lot of like videos on my phone already from like my previous classes and stuff. So I just post them randomly, and then I think that was the time when Xiaohongshu just introduced the video function, so they were giving a lot of views for users or like creators who post videos on that platform because it used to kind of be like Instagram where it's like only like like pictures and stuff. I kind of caught that wave, so they gave me a lot of views, and then I got to like 80K followers within 3 months. So it was like pretty easy to start for me. I think it was definitely because of the help, of the new function, of the new video function. And then ever since that, I started to do fashion, and then now I mainly post like lifestyle pictures and fashion content.
And would you say like the culture for content creators is different on there compared to TikTok or Instagram, and what's really different about it?
I would say this platform is mainly female-based user, and um, even though now it's becoming more and more like like more guys are starting using it, but it used to be like a very female-based like platform. I feel like kind of the same reason why Pinterest, I assume, also probably have more female users than male user because it's more like girly stuff. I assume it's like mood board and stuff. But I still don't know the reason why Xiaohongshu Food mainly has female user. Probably it's because girls love go on there to search for like makeup routine, like how to take care of your skin, and then restaurant recommendation and where to go have fun, which is more
That
like
was weird.
girls' hobby compared to guy. Like girls care more about fashion, their skin, their makeup, like where to go to take pictures.
I'm
So I feel
glad.
like maybe that's the reason why more females are on there. That's also why I personally think it's like a much
It's probably easier Wi-Fi down, but it happens.
better like environment when there's like only girls because it's like when I be on the Chinese TikTok, which is still in, there are a lot of hate comments if a girl is posting something, and mainly the hate comments are from
Wait, what did you say?
on there. That's also why I personally think it's like a much better like environment when there's like only girl because it's like when I be on the Chinese TikTok, which is still in, there are a lot of hate comments if a girl.
Wow, so even on a Chinese TikTok, Deon, they still get a lot of hate. So not only here in the US, we have wow, I didn't know Deon is still that bad. So Wow. So if I used that app, I probably would have gotten some racial comments possibly. Good to know that even in China, their own app, it's that awful. I'll definitely avoid doing that for sure.
or something. And mainly the hate comments are from guys. So that's why we all believe Xiao Hongshu just is much more polite and much like people are much more friendlier. Also because more female are on it. But also, I get a lot of weird DMs on Instagram, but that barely happen on Instagram. So I would say it's definitely a better experience.
And would you say since like a lot of Americans have started moving over there that that's changed any, or is it kind of staying the same?
I mean, I think it definitely changed for the past week for sure, but now TikTok is back, so I assume it was just a very short um, period of change. Like a lot of people, a lot of Americans were on Xiaohongshu, and then they post a lot of things, and then their things got a lot of views, and they grew followers like super quickly. But I don't think they will be on Xiaohongshu long term. First of all, because the language difference, and second of all, TikTok is back already. So if TikTok is like down forever, I'm sure like it will be more long lasting. But I just
Well, for me, since I love to speak Mandarin, I'd rather stay on that app than on TikTok. Plus, I've always wanted to meet other Chinese people too, though, like Darren, for example.
don't think that it will just be like a month thing, because I don't think Americans will keep using that app if TikTok is already bad.
Do you see it as like a feasible thing in the same way like American apps like TikTok and YouTube, people make money on it? Is there like a real viable source of turning it into a full-time job being on Yahoo?
Well, I have a lot of friends whose full-time job is Xiaohongshu, and I make all my income from there. But it honestly depends on what kind of content you post, because it's not only just the amount of followers you have, because it's not like TikTok where your views, like I think TikTok pay you when your video have a lot of views, right? Xiaohongshu doesn't work like that, So even if you get a lot of views, the app itself won't pay you anything. You can only make money off like brand partnerships. So it depends on what kind of content you make, right? Like if your kind of content can sell specific product and stuff, If you make fashion content, honestly, fashion in China is known to be the kind of content that makes the least amount of money because fashion brands usually don't have a lot of budget for these. But if you post a lot of lifestyle things where it incorporates like exercise or like health, and we all know like health product. I'm not sure if it's the same in the States, but like in China, like if you're selling a health product, like the health product company have a lot of budget to use on influencers. So it really depends on what kind of content you post. That's also why like filming vlog or like more lifestyle stuff is like becoming more and more popular on the platform because people realize that um, they want to move towards the kind of content that make more money because in blog you can put everything in it, right? Like you can sell anything in your blog. So it definitely depends on the creator's ability to sell a product because the only way that an influencer can make
Yeah, me and both them, Belle. Yeah, I don't know any except the bells. Yeah, that Darren taught you. Mm-hmm.
it is by doing brand partnerships. And usually they have to, be able to sell it in a sort of way. So yeah. See, I think it makes sense to pay for the views because it just incentivize, creators to make videos for the sake of videos instead of making money, because if my views get paid, then they would just make more interesting videos for people, so, like entertainment, because at the end of the day, videos are for entertainment. But if the only way creators can make money, the only way that creators can make money is off brand partnerships, then they're definitely just gonna make their content much and much more commercial. So I think like TikTok and YouTube has like really good strategy for that compared to self insurance stuff. Because I don't think it's very healthy long term, honestly.
It's like everything just becomes an advertisement instead of like for enjoyment, for entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess like wrapping up, like what is one piece of advice you would give to a creator if they were wanting to start on Jiangsu and build a following?
I would say because Chinese people are very like we love our culture, so definitely respect Chinese culture. So if you're posting videos, have like Chinese subtitles so that we understand it, because most of us don't really speak English that well. So it shows respect, and second of all, it attract more Chinese customers to understand your content, and 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 honestly, just interact with your audience because it's really fun. Because I think a lot of like American people get views and followers on Xiaohongshu because they they post something really like 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 the way they interact with like Chinese like audiences are really funny. So that's how they get popular. So because we know that most Americans don't really speak Chinese or Mandarin, so they probably use a translator and stuff. But like just seeing that they're trying is like really funny itself already, and it's like funny in a cute way. So like we really like that, and yeah, and honestly, I think content is universal. So if it worked on TikTok, it will work on Xiaohongshu as well. Because I do see that a lot of like big TikTokers they post their videos on Xiaohongshu. Like I already know that they're big on TikTok, but their content they didn't change anything, and it just also went viral on Xiaohongshu. So I feel like as long as you keep making good content, it will work in any platform. To be fair. Yeah, but just be respectful to Chinese culture. I think that's the most important thing because, like, I think it's a, I think the world know that Chinese are like, very, we love our culture and, we love people being respectful to our culture and stuff. I think like Xiaohongshu is also trying to figure out a new algorithm because like if Americans get viewing all depend on their algorithm and their policy, right? I think when I honestly don't know the reason why in the initially Americans get so many views. Because to be fair, it's a little just it's very random and it's very like just not natural for the amount of views and followers they get in the beginning. But I think in the future they're trying to separate the users based on where they're based. So if your account is based in the United States, then they would you know recommend more US based content to them. So they're trying to separate the users based on their IP address. So so in the future, maybe if you are like a US creator or even you're just a US user, you might barely see any content from like a Chinese user. I think that's their new strategy. But I feel like it's super new to Xiaohongshu. I don't think they were like expecting this. So they're still trying to figure out new policies. So I feel like it all depends on their policies.
Now, at the end of the day, Zhao Hongshu is probably one of the most unique experiences I've ever had on a social media platform. Even though it's been around for a while, it gave me the same feeling as going on YouTube for the first time in the early 2010s or joining TikTok in 2018. But it also gave me a completely new cultural experience. I loved interacting with all these people from a different country and getting to learn about their lives, discuss the economy, food, politics, and everything in between. Now, do I really think this is ever going to be a replacement for TikTok? Maybe. Simply the infrastructure is not there for it yet. I don't think the owners of the app realized all these Americans were immediately going to come on here. You can see that by a couple days after the Americans swarmed the app, they brought out a new translate feature, which was great. And it seems like TikTok may very well be censored really soon and start to die off. Even though TikTok is now back, I feel like the ban did something to the app that it just simply can't recover from. TikTok seems like it's still going to be around as long as everything passes and it stays in America. But I truly don't believe it's going to be the same app that people have seen it as for the past few years. People are slowly going to start to go to other places, whether that's existing places like YouTube and Twitch, or brand new apps like Jiangsu. But overall, I'm going to probably try to post on here again soon and see if I can build a following on here see what it's like to, explore an app that is not US based at all. Keep in mind, TikTok is a US based company. It has a parent company that is Chinese, but it is based in California. The concept of using social media apps that are not made for American users at all is very unique, and I think it's going to go a long way in the future to bridge gaps that we have previously had as a country. But that's going to conclude this video. If this is your first time watching and you want to learn more about the creator economy, that's all I cover on this channel, so go ahead and click the subscribe button. Okay?
Devon Street, that's his name. No, this video doesn't use a thumbnail. And this went viral. Ranking rights we're about to lose. And this went viral, huh? Wow. Yeah, people say you gotta use a fancy thumbnail that's to grab attention. Well, the title got my attention. Ranking rights we're about to lose. Yeah, that got my attention.
From a few of them are shortened from Trump's mouth, or etc. etc.
Nice, nice.
Oh, it's like a group. Interesting. And this is what, 2 months ago? Why is this only a video that did so well? But his videos or whatever they're talking, whoever it was, they already video, they only got like 420 views, 600 views. Huh, and this video got like almost 400,000. Weird. I want to listen now.
Most of it is from the Wikipedia article for Project and that's why the wording is the way it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, infuse the gum. Infuse the gum. Like a juice. Infused.
This is interesting. So
Let's see.
It's over.
Okay. The next one, we're gonna jump down here to the census citizenship question.
Ooh.
Which, if you don't know, for the unenlightened, that is asking on the census about a citizenship status.
This is fully Joker. This is our first fully. I think this is a good it's Joker. Not only is it intimidation of people who are legal immigrants, it also is like the first.
Oh, Darren's here. Yeah, I know, me too. Wait, what happened? I know, because of my autistic meltdown, yeah. Yeah, it is. Darren says that it has been the most stressful month for him. Yeah. You know what? I want to say one thing. Like, if I ever could get a new phone, like, Darren, this is what I'm going to do. Because you inspire me. It's like dumbbell. Otherwise, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have stopped YouTube. I wanted to download that Chinese app. I didn't know, like, I hope this is appropriate. Your people is so friendly. I mean, every country is. It's just, it depends. Because I keep hearing about it. Honestly, like, oh, sucks I don't have a phone that's like advanced, but I keep hearing about it. I'm thinking, man, if I keep hearing more about this, like, I want to try to download that app. Oh yeah, Darren, I know. I was just shocked that it's just like a plain thumbnail of ranking like human rights or something, and I was shocked this went viral. But there are other videos. It's a funny username. It's called Blue Mustard, and really creative. I have to say, I like that username. It's so weird. They got 4,000 subscribers, but their videos barely reach like 600. It's weird. YouTube is strange. And they got almost 7,000 comments. That's a lot. Usually for a video with this many views, they normally probably get like maybe 2,000, maybe, or maybe 4,000 at most. 7,000 is a lot. The ban on porn. Oh, that's interesting. But also includes stuff like comprehensive sex ed. Yeah. Yeah, Dumbo, you and me both. You and me both. Literally.
An easiest way that
I
the
love that
Trump government
name.
is going
It is
use
strange, but in a
to,
cool way.
like, basically target states that have a large immigrant population, legal or illegal, and cut their funding, cut their government services, and target them. It is truly just it. I almost just completely, without even thinking about it, said it is truly nasty, nasty.
It is.
But no, it is like on a purely political sense, it's bad.
See,
No, you're spitting facts.
Yeah, it's bad. Well, because think about the states that it would mainly impact too.
my
Like,
state,
it's gonna.
Darren's state.
I mean, obviously some currently Republican states like Florida, Texas, but also California, especially the state that, thanks to freaks like Gavin Newsom, are like the bulwark against is that the word?
Who?
Against, like Trumpism.
Oh, Trumpism.
Like calling Gavin Newsom a freak. That's very fun.
He's a freak, but he's awesome.
All right, next one we've got abolishing the Department of Education. Woo-hoo.
This is another Joker.
By the way, this is long, but it's interesting. It's like an hour and 19 minutes.
It's not self-explanatory to our audience. They don't know what it is.
Oh, I love the link.
This truly is cumulative because this is rude, this is uncalled for, this is stupid, and Carol.
I do like how they're doing like a little podcast. I like videos like this, no editing or thing. I don't know why, and no wonder. I'm glad this went viral because that's how to be any editing. Anyway, where were we? Glorious blue bastard. I like that. They can ban porn, but that won't stop me from wanting my Donald Trump X. What? Oh my goodness. Donald Trump X JD Vance X couch fanfiction. That's funny. That's funny. I like how these are jokes in the comments. All right, let me continue.
And see, unfortunately, as far as the plans for education go, we have gotten early access here where we are.
Yeah,
and
I know it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. I don't know why though. Yeah, you should have like 10. Well, maybe not like that much. Like maybe like 2,000 on average, maybe.
No, same here. Period. I wonder what he's grabbing. I wonder if it's a
Donald Trump X couch. I know. Isn't that funny?
Woo,
Guys, Joker, like Medicare is what basically, unless you're rich, every retired senior in this country uses for healthcare. Medicaid is what millions of people who live at or below the poverty line use for healthcare. Cutting Medicare and Medicaid benefits is condemning people to death.
We got it. All right. We got reducing environmental and climate change regulations to favor fossil fuels.
Oh my god.
The stress in your voice. Not to be that guy, but I do think it's at least girl give it back.
Here's why this one isn't Joker. Because this isn't like It's very evil. Republican would do.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I fear that one's good. I fear this is our first girl to it back. Give us back our regulations.
Next, we've got explicitly reject abortion as healthcare.
Oh, it's over. That's over.
This is at the very
My opinion.
Yeah, at the very.
Oh, it's over. My opinion.
I think. I mean,
I would feel comfortable.
Granted,
I talk about that one a lot.
Calling it Joker, and I don't have a uterus, so I should.
Yeah,
it's over.
To speak on
it's over.
But I think the argument for Girl Give It Back is that it's similar. Like it's not a uniquely Trumpian evil. Like Bush wanted to do this, Romney wanted to do this, but like it's the uterus having this call for me.
Yeah, well, I do unfortunately have a uterus,
Right.
but the thing about counting abortion as not healthcare is that they can call kind of anything that falls under that umbrella, which includes like,
Right.
ectopic pregnancies,
Right.
which can kill you, or, they can do criminal investigations for people who have miscarriages, fun stuff like that.
Okay, Joker.
Yeah.
It's Joker. Yeah. Next one is eliminate coverage of emergency contraception.
What does that mean?
Oh, that is bare minimum nasty work. I think.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that is.
Yeah, this is another. And my gut instinct is to call nearly all of these Jokers.
Well, and they are all realistically all of these are Joker. Like we're going.
All right, this is a funny comment. As a disabled American, I'm cracking a beer to my last few days of freedom and possibly my last few days on Earth. Yep, accurate. As a trans person, I'll say cheers to that. Right. I'm completely fucked without Medicare. Shit will get bad for me real soon. Man, some trans people on here. I'm autistic, biracial, trans woman. Oh, this is a handful. And I'll just say, despite my dislike of alcohol, trauma's fun like that. Cheers. Yeah.
Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Commerce, Federal Communications Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission, which I did have to put every single one in there because I thought it was
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, what bothers me, I mean, the DOJ thing, that's bad. But what bothers me the most about these is like partisan control of the FCC and the FTC is really bad because that's like goodbye net neutrality and hello even more like, well, like when you go to cancel like an insurance plan or something and the button says click here to cancel and then you click on it and the button doesn't actually go anywhere. Like it's like the Federal Trade Commissions. It's the FTC's job to like prosecute companies that do that shit. And I don't trust the political party that's entirely funded by insurance interests to take control of the FCC and the FTC in a way that will materially benefit my life. Partisan FBI is bad, but like I feel like we've already kind of had that.
At least like secretly.
Yeah, I honestly
not like secretly, but like the thing where they're like, oh, we're not running partisan, we're just running for conservative
Christian nationalism, and this is from a Polish person. It's literally more far right. I don't know what the hell left or right leaning means. Maybe because I don't care about politics than Hitler. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Like a new type of Nazism? Well, that's what's called, right? Nazism, excuse me. Yeah, people wonder why religious people act nuts. No offense to them, but that's the truth. I mean, it's kind of funny because I noticed in China they're so atheist, right? Oh my God! Yet again, the Philippines are Catholic, but it's different. I don't know. It's interesting.
Embryonic stem cells.
We're going back to stem cells.
She fucked up couch. Exactly. So basically, trans people are supposed to lose their rights. Are you serious? Like, I'm not. I just don't believe that. Honestly. And there's this video that popped up. Her name is like Salem Tuvar. Let's see. I don't know. She's talking about influencers to act like nut jobs on TikTok, right? I know that's not the title, but it looks like it. She's supposed to be really popular. I'll give it luck. Honestly.
Across the U.S. as early as tomorrow.
TikTok is going away.
Oh, Rana Mango uploaded. Oh no, we got another one. Mexico City gentrification. Oh fuck, I'm interested. What a mango man survives real life Squid Game. You gotta be kidding me. That killed 551 people. Ooh, I'm gonna watch that one later. So Salem, she has 813,000 subs, right? So she's really popular. She just talks about like interesting topics based off TikTok. So her video did decent. I had 268. It only did like half of her viewership, but let's see.
Now these are men TikTok. It's no going on. Since everyone thought that the app was going on, influencers gave their confessions, exposing that they've been lying in a lot of their content and like deceiving their viewers.
So now that all these influencers have exposed themselves for faking their content, now what? It's all over. It's over.
Hello, I'm Salem, and welcome to my commentary channel, where we take serious topics and dissect them in a not-so-serious way. Today's topic, the TikTok ban, and how it lasted like 2 seconds.
If you can't do the time, don't do it right.
SpongeBob, now get out.
Okay, time's up.
Girl, how are you
Oh,
so
that's a
fluffy
cute
that I
dog.
can't even see your eyeballs? It's like staring into a dark void of cuteness. Hello, everybody. It is me, Salem, and welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Are you guys okay? Are you breathing? Do you need a breath exercise? Should we do it together? Literally, what is this year? What is going on? The world really shut down and went crazy for like 2 hours, and literally all for what? We all swore that the TikTok ban would end social media as we know it. And end.
Well, someone says here, oh, this is an hour long, by the way. I'm just glad it's only 7:08 right now. So someone says that just because TikTok is back doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. By MADDYRID, Trump gave the company a 75-day extension. For us to get it back permanently, they have to sell half of their business to an American businessman, which TikTok already stated they're not doing. So important, we shouldn't depend on any platforms in such a way, and it's so unfortunate. Yeah. It'll still be banned once the extension is up. So people thinking that TikTok is going to stay around. Yeah, I doubt it. As an American living in Europe, it always strikes me how common it is for Americans to feel that the world consists of just Americans. I know. Over here, we saw videos about the ban, but we didn't have a blackout. So for those influencers posting confessions, it's clear they didn't think of their non-American followers. Seeing these confessions, yep, pretty much. Plus, it's common to cross-post these days, so it'd be easy for people to find you and comment on those other platforms about your confession. Yep, it's not like if you posted seconds before the ban, no one would see it. There were many of us who still have asked us. That's true, though. The internet is global. It is. I still remember when I had my TikTok, right? I don't care about that damn ass app. It was really interesting that even though my videos are so damn poor, I was just supposed to run on crap, right? I don't know what the hell that damn app works. I'm just sharing like some of my videos. I don't know how to use tags. You know, I did one about Moana. I fear some of they probably forgot that I even exist. Some of my viewers are from the Philippines, which is nice. And then the other videos I posted were Russian. So for my Russians out there, I just want to say Привет. Jak sobry. Okay, нет, мой Russian is not good. Okay, нет добрый. So yeah, it's kind of funny because I wish I took a screenshot of it. Like I still got my account, I just don't care. So I'm not gonna get any views anyway. Like this song, right? And yeah, I did check that half of my viewers were Russian, unless maybe that's just a coincidence. Like just a little, right? There's some I don't know what Russian city. It's not Moscow. It's not St. Petersburg. It's one of the smaller ones. They're a Muslim. I'm thinking like, is this something I did in the past that maybe like maybe this is why I love Muslims so much. And for the American ones, half of they're in Darren State, which I'm not surprised, and some were in New York, which is interesting. Yeah, let's see, like Rochester or something, not like the Big Apple. Like this is like upstate New York, so that's a little interesting. It's not many views. Like Like, what about will do? Yeah. Wait, Darren, wait, what do you mean what? I'm so sorry. What did I say? I am so sorry. What do you mean by that? Damn it, I hate when I ramble so much. Because you said, well, I do. What do you mean by that? I'm so sorry. I hate when I keep rambling. See, this is why I love our country, but damn it, there's more to this. The fucking, like, it's like, what? Is the Earth like Pluto? Or is like, yeah, because we're like the United States is the size of Pluto, right? Like literally, like we're not living on Pluto, but we act like it. And I love that planet. Oh, it was only 14 hours, you guys. Why were people having a mental breakdown over who knows? Yeah, I need to slam back on TikTok and I can make a video like, oh, like if anyone's viewing this, I don't understand why TikTok is shutting down or maybe talking Russian if anyone would view it. I did got some likes though in one of my posts. No one commented, which I don't care, but I forgot what likes I got. I don't remember. It's only a few, but it was interesting. I know it is weird that they're Russian and I'm black. It's kind of shocking to me.
Have to leave.
All right.
So I'll be back at the dressing up so you can go to work tonight too.
Okay.
Everything. Only for them to pay a reverse card on us. Damn. Honestly, I should have paid myself like a damn clown because not TikTok literally getting reinstated within like the next 2 hours that it was banned. The government really played us. They said, okay, Gen Z, give me your phone, we're putting it in the drawer, y'all are grounded. We ran to our rooms, tantrums.
Okay.
We're planning on how we were gonna run away, maybe to Red Note, just for them to give us our phone the very next day. The way that the government has been talking about banning TikTok for years, making it seem like it was like this huge thing that was a big deal, that it even existed, that it even got created, dragging the CEO of TikTok.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation? Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
Let me ask you something.
Making him look like a damn fool just to bring it back within like 2 seconds. Literally, America is just, it's not real. America's not real. Even though it came back so fast, the aftermath has been crazy. Some people really did think that it was going to be the end of TikTok forever and decided to use it.
All right. Okay. All right. And Double said hello. Double, well, a viewer of mine named D said hello. Side Double, because your name is so hard to pronounce. All right. Not D like the crush that I had, right? That line, but remember how we talked about how people are reacting over TikTok? Yeah, Dumbo, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, Pluto is not the size of us. I'll just give you like an example. But yeah, it's like that actually.
Opportunity to basically admit and open up to the fact that they had been lying to their audience the entire time TikTok was a thing. Since everyone thought that the app was going away, a lot of influencers came with confessions exposing that they've been lying in all of their content and like deceiving their viewers. Baby Dumpling, who does mukbangs, exposed herself saying that she doesn't eat all the food in her mukbangs. All of the fitness influencers that are coming out.
Yeah, a lot of TikTokers lie. Of course they do. A lot of people don't understand what I see on TikTok because I'm obsessed with like learning about height. They lie about their height. They lie all the time. Like, yeah, you're not 6 foot. You're basically 5'10". They do that a lot. They do. I gotta say, as a Brazilian, it was kind of funny to see Americans react as if it was a universal issue. Drama queens. You know, I think since some of my viewers are Russian, I'm gonna tell them like, as an American, I apologize because we take everything for granted. Like you Russians, you worked hard in your country. You know, you may not like Ukraine or whatnot, but you still basically do care about your country. And I was going to say spasiba or spasibo for basically feeling that way. And as long as you support Ukrainians, then I love your country. Like I would say, yeah, I need a little Russian, so to speak, right? So I gotta sign back in on that goddamn. Hold on, I'm gonna have to try to see if I can charge my phone, and then I'm gonna see like what my viewer. I know I haven't posted anything and I don't got any views, but I'm kind of curious. Like with my total viewers, I can check where my viewers are coming from. I know it's only 9 followers, but I don't care. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm thinking about. I have a lot to think about, Dumbo. Honestly. Yeah, she's going to work. Yeah, a lot of TikTokers like absolutely. I'm gonna try to charge this phone for a bit. I kind of want to see that Mexico City video though. I heard his name is Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. So Deon, let's see, Salem Tovar. Okay, I'll just type in Salem TikTok. Wait, I'll do this right now. Salem Tovar. So what about Mexico City?
Where are you from? What's that? Filmeras? A couple streets over. You living here in Mexico? Yeah, I love Mexico. I don't like the United States. Okay.
It's much calmer than New York.
Oh no. So people are glamorizing Mexico. Well, as an Arizonan, I'm flattered. I'm fucking flattered. Are you serious? Are you serious? People loving Mexico. I mean, I live 2.5 hours away from the border. Seriously. Are you fucking serious? I love the editing where an interviewee says something that's affected them that I guess Mexico, USA, your immigrants ruin my country, right? The irony is striking. Americans often claim that Mexicans come to the US to take jobs and seek a better life. While many Americans are not moving to Mexico for a better life. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, this is pretty accurate. You know what? I keep telling people, we literally are above Mexico for Buddha's sake. You know? I'm not kidding. You wonder why I don't like our damn country? You don't wonder why us Arizonans act different? I'm born and raised here, right? You wonder why so many damn people from, in the good way, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, right? I mean, I know a lot of them moved to Darren State too, but you should be surprised how many license plates I see that are not from here, right? And how people's like, we should be our own country at this point because you wonder why I like to share, like, I know they don't get a lot of views. It sucks how people are so damn picky, but, like, when I go for my walks, right, like, I know our city has problems, but from the people that you see in my videos, it's the opposite, right? Hold on, I'm gonna, how many subscribers does this guy have? He has almost 3 million, right? So, he's like a journalist. Oh, God. He went to New Zealand? I love New Zealand. Are you fucking kidding me? The Maoris? Oh, God. That's interesting. He's like a journalist. But I want to hear about Mexico because that caught my attention. Let's see.
Still very natural.
I've had a little bit of Mexican always in my family, but not by blood. But now I basically do internet marketing, remote work, things like that.
The Mexican capital is now considered one of the top 5 cities in the world for remote work.
Are you serious?
Me from working remotely as long as
Oh, Upton? Yeah. Well, he's on here.
Yeah. What would you do if you had that opportunity? You know, I grew up in the States. My family's only been there for 1 or 2 generations also. So, you know, obviously I'm from there, but I feel more comfortable here, to be honest. This country is more chill.
The interviewer is cute.
On the rush, everybody is running. Here, it's more chill. Okay. Thanks, bro. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, eh? Nice to meet you. Yo, aquí Josué para Channel 5, Canal 5 Latinoamérica. The gentrification in Ciudad de México is a big problem. ¿Qué opina de la gentrificación en México? Terrible, nos está disparando la renta.
Yeah. Oh, you see why us Arizonans, I'm sorry. And we love Californians, right? We have a love-hate, whatever. You wonder why so many of us Arizonans keep complaining of, why are you from fucking Florida? Why are you from fucking, sorry, hush, mamas, from Tennessee? Because so many people keep coming here. I mean, I know a lot of people are not from here. It's hard to explain it. But, like, The thing is, in Arizona, the reason why, like, especially how we lost our apartment, right, is because our rent has been up. When my brother and I first moved in there, right, I think we paid like what, $900 a month. The reason why it may seem a little bit expensive is because the utilities we get for prepared are free. When we got our sink repaired, free, right? We're gonna get our kitchen lights, free. You know, the toilet paper or whatever handle was broke, free. Like, I might need to say there's like why people underestimate Arizona so damn much, right? We do exist. I'm sure a lot of Americans know what Arizona is, right? Because I talked to people online in the past. They're like, "What's Arizona?" Like, you don't know what it is? You know? Um. Oh man, I want to use Omegle. Like, I know they got the other one. Like, how? Oh my god, I'm thinking about geography too much. The thing is, basically, this is what I love about my state, right? I'm not sure if other states do that, but like, yeah, you don't have to pay for utilities or what's it? Yeah, utilities be repaired, right? Because we pay for the monthly rent. And I love about that about our apartment. Like, if something is broken, we could get it repaired, right? Like, I'm talking about like if our toilet is damaged, right? We could get that repaired, or the sink in the kitchen, the bathroom, okay, the curtains that had to be repaired, literally. Or if we basically got bed bugs, right? That guy from Pennsylvania, he's amazing. For my, if I ever get any Pennsylvanians, you're amazing for that. It sucks that I only got 13 views. No one's gonna listen to us, but it's or whatever. I'm not gonna stop. Um, shit, I can't charge this phone. We basically would have like the bug inspector. Sure, it may take some time just to get to call the office, but hey, they do an amazing job on it. I even did a review of the apartment that we lost. I literally got videos when we got our sink repaired. I was talking to him in Spanish. My brother's half Mexican, right? I know I'm not Mexican, but since he's my brother, I consider myself as part Mexican. I don't care. I consider myself as part Mexican. So, I just had to share that. Did you say like only 30% are Dumbo, give or take? I'm not sure. I gotta look that up again. Not that low, but it's a little low. And yep, tacos, burritos, cactuses, and of course our bird, well, based off the Mexican flag. Yeah, we had to pay. Like, we had to pay for, well, of course we pay for the apartment monthly, right? But for the utilities, they're free. So my mom, when she was in an apartment, she had to pay for the right. Like, dumbbell, like, we didn't, like, if your sink was broken, right? You could call for the maintenance and he would repair it for you for free. So Mexico has the problem with rent, just like us Arizonans. Yep, I'm not surprised. It's like us Arizonans, we're like Ukraine, and Mexico's Russia, but the good way, if that makes sense.
What do you think about the prices in this town?
The prices here pretty like comparable to Seattle prices. Yeah, like
Oh, you from Seattle? Nice. I love Seattle. It sucks that it's getting expensive. We got a lot of people in Washington coming down here. I love that state.
$100 a month for a 700 square.
$2,100 a month for a damn apartment. No wonder they're moving. Oh my God, Seattle! I'm sorry. You want Washington? Come over here. We need more of you. I love that state. I'm not kidding. I love Washington State.
You tasted some tacos?
Sí, sí.
¿Pica o no pica?
Pica, sí.
Mucho o no?
En medio, sí. Sí.
Nice to meet you.
As some of you may have seen, much of our previous coverage has focused on the issues along the
Yep, the border. Yep, of course. Definitely. It's Dumbo, it is. It is really depressing because it rains a lot. It's still a nice city to live in, though. See, I know the whole U.S. does have a renting. Hell, look at Canada. They have a problem, too. No wonder they want to move down here, I think.
Surrounding undocumented migrants coming from developing nations in Latin America who crossed our border.
House mamas.
Seeing much of our previous coverage has focused on the issues along the U.S.-Mexico border, particularly surrounding undocumented migrants coming from developing nations in Latin America who crossed our border illegally in search of economic opportunity in the States. Many Americans have complained of this mass influx of migrants taking away job opportunities from working-class Americans, lowering the bottom line for coal miners and veterans, flooding the streets with crime and violence, and leading to a canine genocide of epic proportions.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the pets.
What
the fuck is that motherfucker thinking? Really? I don't see goddamn dogs being eaten. White ass mother. Sorry, dumbbell. Troll ass motherfucker. Seriously. I'm sorry. I don't usually like to say that word. I know a lot of Southerners do. Maybe. Hush, mamas. I think I must have got influenced by people of the deep south from that.
There's a reverse border crisis going. That's right. Rent and cost of living in Mexico's largest city has doubled and now tripled as a result.
Are you serious?
This all really began after the COVID pandemic of 2020, during which tens of millions of Americans working in the tech sector switched to a work-from-home model and no longer had to report to the office in cities like San Francisco and Seattle, where tech companies like Uber, Twitter, Facebook, Microsoft, and beyond are headquartered. So where'd they go? The answer is simple. They went somewhere where their paycheck stretches a lot further. Some chose cities like Austin, Texas, and Nashville, Tennessee. But 800,000 Americans have moved to the country of Mexico in the past 4 years.
Are you serious? That's a lot of Americans. Wow, I'm shocked. It's so funny. When my mother visited Mexico 2 decades ago. Hi, Smalls! Oh my God. Gee, sorry. My throat is killing me. I can't keep shouting hush. The thing is, when my mother, I love my pause, but damn it, like my throat hurts right now. The thing is, like when my mother went to Mexico City, she was terrified, not in a racist way, because they didn't speak English. That was 2 decades ago. And you know, I'm sure if you go to Mexico, you probably won't have much problems because a lot will speak English. This is 2 decades ago, you know, so.
Their presence felt more than in Mexico's capital. You see graffiti like this that says "Para Gringo," which means "Get out, Gringo." Much like the current situation at our border, if done right, this wouldn't be a bad thing. After all, tourism accounts for 17% of Mexico's GDP, much like immigrant labor, documented or undocumented, accounts for 19% of the American workforce. But this rapid, mass influx of what are called digital nomads to Mexico City has
Darren,
to such a degree.
I hate Florida. Damn it, my fucking phone ain't charging. I hate Florida culturally because of that damn family. I don't know why. I know that sounds wrong. I just don't like Floridians that much. Not to mention that subscriber named Chopper, whatever his name is. He gives me a reason like, man, Floridas are kind of stuck up. She's like, no wonder. This is gonna sound so dark. Okay, no wonder they go do hurricanes. They're a mess. I know, like Deon, you're fitting our state. Well, you know what? You should be washed up from Earth. Sorry. I don't care. Honestly. You got Miami, deal with it. It's not my fault because your goddamn whatever people wanted to take my state for granted. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just don't like the state. Not right now.
Past the charming cafes, flashy apartments, and you'll see this capital city for what it's becoming, a refuge for migrants.
I grew up in New York, LA. Oh, wait.
Perhaps not the border crossing you expected. Americans leaving pricey U.S. cities, heading south to work from home.
In this episode, our Latin American correspondent, Josue, will investigate the ongoing situation in Mexico City through the perspectives of locals, Americans, other foreigners, and local activists doing their best to bring awareness to the problem.
Perfecto. Ya estamos aquí con Fernando Bustos, quien es profesor de filosofía, entre otras cosas. Pero antes que nada, me gustaría que en palabras más coloquiales me pudieras explicar lo que es la gentrificación para la gente que no está acostumbrada a este término.
Por ponerlo en términos bastante fáciles, la gentrificación es un fenómeno en el cual gente que tiene como mayor poder adquisitivo llega a vivir a determinadas zonas y comienza entonces a cambiar la forma de vida que tenía esa colonia, esa ciudad, esa calle, y al mismo tiempo...
It's kind of funny. We're talking about China. The next, we're talking about Mexico. Isn't that weird? So that's just China. Yeah.
Tienen mayor poder adquisitivo y tienen como otro tipo de gustos y demás, comienzan a abrir entonces, no sé, como panaderías francesas, lugar que sea como un poquito como más bonito, por así decirlo, como Estados Unidos, Europa, cosas por el estilo. Y esto al mismo tiempo entonces comienza a hacer que cierren tiendas y que la gente que ya vivía ahí se comience a ir a otros lugares porque se encarecen los precios.
Activists say the formula is simple. As Mexico has sought to attract remote workers with higher purchasing power, it's created more inequality for Mexicans.
O sea, por
Really?
ejemplo, hoy en día, por poner un ejemplo sencillo, hoy en día puedes ir, no sé, a clases que aquí hay muchas de
Local
clases de
yoga?
y ahora las clases las dan a veces en inglés, ¿no? Es decir, con que haya una persona que hable inglés y el resto habla en español, de pronto las clases te las dan en inglés. Entonces también en muchos restaurantes.
Oh, Mexico. Oh, dear. Basically, they're not going to speak Spanish as much. Oh, crap. Americans, you got to study Spanish. I'm sorry. Don't be like those damn Muslims that think they could terrorize Germany. Don't you dare. Okay, I'm in Arizona, and I'm sorry. Don't call me racist. Well, you know what? What happened in the Civil War? Why you fucking lost? Sorry. You wonder why you so fucking depressed and fucking fat? I'm in Arizona. I'm not fucking Alabama. No offense. You gotta do better. I'm sorry. I'm fighting in our own. Like I'm fighting with each other. My phone is not fucking charging because I gotta fucking verify. This is slam back in on TikTok. All right. So Darren said he has to eat dinner. And blame me, Dumbo. I know it's crazy, huh?
En muchas cafeterías, ahora las cartas también
The menus are mostly in English. Oh boy, because there's a lot of Mexicans that cannot speak English. I think it's like maybe only like I looked up a study like what 14% of Mexicans could understand English. It's pretty low. I think I'm just guessing. It's low. You're not gonna meet many Mexicans that can understand English. It's pretty low.
Inglés y el resto hablan español, de pronto las clases te las dan en inglés. Entonces también en muchos restaurantes, en muchas cafeterías, ahora las cartas también están más que nada en inglés o tienen los anuncios afuera en inglés. Digo, aquí en México no tendría necesidad al final de cuentas de saber hablar inglés. Cuando yo voy a Estados Unidos o al país que sea, Francia, Japón, pues yo no voy esperando que den una clase en mi idioma solamente porque
Yeah.
es decir, yo trato de adaptarme un
Basically,
poco
saying like here in the United States, right? We speak English. You know, we're not forced to change our language. However, in my state, we're bilingual. Even though it's not our official language, like in some places, you know, like if you need to buy a phone, you need to call 911 or whatever. Like we have both languages. It's like in some countries that speak more than one, Dumbbell, it's like that here. You know, now I know like in the South or whatever, they don't do that. But here in Arizona, it's much, much different, you know? That's why, like, when I go to the grocery store, sometimes I'll speak in Spanish. You know? Even if I may not get treated well, like, I'm still going to speak it. Because some of the stores we actually have here are Mexican, right? Which is where a lot of Mexicans go. And I also speak Spanish. I'm guessing it's 40%.
Unidos, lo más fácil, pues intento saber un poquito de inglés para poder entrar a esa clase, ¿no?
Do you speak Spanish? Sí. Your favorite words in Spanish? Favorite words?
Palabras favoritos. Echar para atrás y no mames.
No mames, that's funny.
Bad words. Nice.
No sé, incluso siento que se pierde también como un poco de sentido de comunidad, ¿no? Y de pronto todos los días eran gringos y gringos y gringos diferentes, que yo siempre sentirme como un extranjero en mi mismo país, en mi misma colonia.
Let's pause for a moment and talk about gentrification. It's a polarizing buzzword that often divides people into two camps. On one side, you have people who see it as a great across-the-board thing. The neighborhood gets cleaned up, crime goes down, and home values rise.
For millions of people my age, that is a dream.
Then on the other side, you have those who view it as a form of colonization and cultural erasure.
Gentrification is genocide.
But it's important to understand that gentrification doesn't begin maliciously. Let's use the US as an example. Hipsterism, as we know it today, began in New York City in the early 2000s. The first hipsters were suburban-raised millennials who adapted grunge and lumberjack fashion forms that were popular in Minneapolis and the Pacific Northwest.
Really?
Most of the original hipsters were the grandchildren of white Americans who fled the inner cities in the mid-1960s during desegregation and a mass exodus known as white.
It's kind of funny because I kind of dress like a hipster. As guilty. Well, no wonder people. Yeah, a lot of them are from like Minnesota. No wonder. Don't want to get compliments. It has to be those two good states, huh? I didn't know that.
Hipsterism, as we know it today, began in New York City in the early 2000s. The first hipsters were suburban-raised millennials who adapted grunge and lumberjack fashion forms that were popular in Minneapolis and the Pacific Northwest in the late 90s. Most of the original hipsters were the grandchildren of white Americans who fled the inner cities in the mid-1960s
Really?
during desegregation in a mass exodus known as white flight. The construction of newly built all-white suburbs and Levittowns and the farmlands outside cities like Philadelphia was more than a geographic resettlement. It was essentially
I'm not gonna bet to sign. Oh well, my phone won't charge. Damn it! I want to check on my TikTok. God damn it, phone! You're tough not to crack. Ah. Yeah.
Ways entered recalls purchasing power away from the urban centers into these private redlined communities. This, in turn, created half a century of economic apartheid, in which you basically had two parallel societies, the cities and the suburbs, existing in complete isolation from each other. Throughout the 80s and 90s, cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, and New York City spiraled into chaos and disrepair, while suburbia and its sprawl became larger and larger, even connecting metro areas like Chicago and Milwaukee. But there was one problem that the architects of white flight didn't consider.
Dumbo, sadly I can't because I forgot that I had to verify my phone number, sadly. So I'm trying to get this phone charged up. I'm so tired of holding it. Damn it, phone. Ah. Well, I hope I can hold it like this. It's stuck at 2%. Oh, this is so tiring holding this goddamn thing. All right. Okay.
As a result of isolation, the first generation born into a post-white flight reality, the boomers, it should come as no surprise that they loved it and appreciated it. After all, most of their parents were hard-scrabble World War II vets who grew up in a world with no suburbs, so a white picket fence in a big backyard was like a utopia. The children of the boomers, Gen Xers, kind of liked the suburbs, but were showing some signs of angst. But the generation after them, the millennials, they envisioned a vibrant new life. A world beyond cul-de-sacs and strip malls. Put simply, they wanted to be around culture.
I didn't knew that. Wow. And I'm as millennial.
Some signs of angst. But the generation after them, the millennials, they envisioned a vibrant new life. A world beyond cul-de-sacs and strip malls. Put simply, they wanted to be around culture, eat interesting food, hear different languages, and just
I'm one of them.
Bored. And so a migration called
Just not be bored. Man, this is creepy how accurate this is.
A world beyond cul-de-sacs and strip malls. Put simply, they wanted to be around culture, eat interesting food, hear different languages, and just not be bored. And so a migration called reverse white flight began. It's generally acknowledged that the first hipster neighborhood in America was Williamsburg, Brooklyn, a historically Jewish, Black, and Dominican area where Vice moved their headquarters in 2001. The complete cycle of turning parts of the neighborhood from diverse cultural corridors to flat corporate business parks.
It's kind of funny because The Simpsons kind of predicted this when The Simpsons were worried that those hipsters would move into their neighborhood, right? Like, let's just say they had like a little weed store where Otto, which is basically their bus teacher, whatever, would like to go. And then it's like a bookstore. Man, Matt Groening is a sidekick. He predicted it. Like, this is how the future is like. It's kind of funny how that works.
And there's actually a science to how.
Oh, Dumbbell, you're a sweetheart for that. I know.
Richard Kempen.
Oh.
Broke it down into a 4-phase model. Phase 1 is the arrival of starving artist types, legitimate, penniless, as he calls them, gutter punks. We're looking for a cheap place to live. It's a reasonable commuting distance, upscale cultural centers. These types are often troubled. They use drugs and drink heavily, and for certain, never open any businesses, and so don't actively displace. Anyway, what they do though is signal safety that makes way for the arrival of phase 2. Phase 2 is hipsters, but Campanella calls them the creative class. Those in the creative class fetishize the starving artist types, and are often semi-transient, meaning they kind of follow cool around the country. Unlike the broke bohemians, hipsters are typically college-educated, hyper-liberal, and usually open businesses, like coffee shops, organic food stores, juice bars, yoga studios, barbershops with exposed brick and mortar, vegan co-ops, and essentially introduce oat milk to the hood. Gradually, the area becomes a colony of the greater hipster network and begins seeing cross-traffic from cities like Portland, Oregon, who begin imposing their aesthetics and cultural customs onto the area. However, rent and cost of living itself does not actually rise until the third phase begins, which Campanella calls the bourgeoisie bohemian phase. This is marked by the arrival of art collectors, people who refer to themselves as socialites, Burning Man camp leaders, cultural investors, and most importantly, real estate developers with a taste for the hip. who are aware of the area's skyrocketing cultural capital and see a massive business opportunity, which often takes the form of a city-sponsored arts district. It's between phase 2 and 3 that you find the most tension, because that's when the displacement happens. In this phase, entire neighborhoods are often bulldozed to make room for luxury hotels, trendy fine dining restaurants, and hip corporate storefronts,
I see.
resulting in unaffordability for both locals who are totally out of this coolness matrix and the hipsters and bohemians that made the area cool in the first place. After the shiny new apartments are built and the landlord raises the rent, the fourth phase begins, which is the arrival of the rich, the young professional class, like tech bros and finance guys who have absolutely no interest in anything cool and view cultural capital as basically meaningless. By the time phase 4 is complete and yuppies have taken over, you're left with a sterile, metallic ghost town full of empty apartments that basically nobody wants to live in. The developers who banked on the cool factor are bummed, and the cycle of gentrification has now restarted on the outer radius of where it began, spreading like a nuclear bomb in all directions, destroying everything in its wake. In New York, you could say the bomb was dropped in Williamsburg. The blast radius is currently incinerating Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, Ridgewood, and further out into the boroughs. In Mexico City, it's safe to say the G-bomb was dropped in a neighborhood called Roma Norte, a historic district just southwest of the center of town. I'm not sure if you know this, but Mexico City is unbelievable.
Damn it. Good video so far. Oh, my head. Damn, it sucks I only got 15 views today. Normally I get much more than that. Damn, I don't know what happened to my channel. Oh well. Yeah, I guess they made a lot of those people that were trolls. They probably, well, I'm glad they got bored and they left. It'd be nice if they at least unsubscribe, but they're too damn lazy to. God, this shit got shut in the fucking Parma language. Anyway.
So there was a ton of neighborhoods for transplants to choose from, but Roma Norte's primary cultural appeal was its food. It's been a hotspot for Mexican cuisine since the 1950s.
Dude, I mean, you can get, some chilaquiles or some tacos for 4 pesos, and it's like fucking good, I love it. It's great. The prices are great here. You feel they upgrade the prices? No, yeah, I feel like in some places the prices are going up. I mean, Roma Norte is ridiculous. Condesa is so expensive now. I looked out because I feel like Juarez is like, it's still a little local, but it's like the Brooklyn of New York. In the center. Yeah, in the center. It feels like it's like an old New York,
Beyond cultural appeal, another factor that makes cities ripe for gentrification are natural disasters. One example would be New Orleans, Louisiana. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck the city, killing 1,800 people and displacing half of New Orleans' population. One of the hardest hit neighborhoods was the Ninth Ward. Because of the city's levees breaking, the lower Ninth Ward was almost totally flattened by floodwaters. However, in the upper Ninth Ward, a neighborhood now heavily rebranded as the Bywater District, homes remained intact, despite all of these homeowners having been relocated elsewhere to cities like Houston and Atlanta, where many of them lived in FEMA trailers, awaiting insurance checks and government aid. In this desperate state, and amid an uncertain future for a broken New Orleans, real estate agents swooped in and began buying entire blocks of Bywater homes in cash from their recently displaced owners, setting a foundation for a hipster enclave that would thrive about 10 years later. According to many Mexico City locals, the story of what happened in Roma Norte is actually quite similar to what happened in the Bywater. Roma was the epicenter of the 1985 Mexico City earthquake, which killed 5,000.
Oh my goodness!
Many of them would never return.
En la Roma, pues fíjate que cuando llegué a la Roma acababa de pasar lo del temblor, entonces se vació un poco la Roma, pero ya tiene como 2, 3 años que se empezó a llenar de extranjeros, mucha gentrificación. Entonces ya los precios obviamente elevaron bastante. Y cambia una avenida, ¿no? Supongo que de esta avenida para acá son unos precios más chonchos que de la avenida para allá, ¿no? Sí, aunque también, pues con eso de la gentrificación, mucha gente que vivía en la Roma se pasó a vivir a la Doctores, entonces también han hecho que los precios se eleven de renta. Sí, se va desplazando y también va subiendo, porque recuerdo la Doctores era una colonia peligrosa, ¿no? Se decía como que no todos querían vivir ahí, ¿no? Es un barrio, a raíz de que están desplazando. Ahora también la Doctores es como una nueva Roma, ¿no? Exacto, sí, si te das cuenta, pues siguen estando las vecindades, pero ya ves un tipo de gente diferente que vive en la Doctores ya ahorita, desde hace un tiempo ya tienes.
When I first moved here, it was a completely different area, There's been gentrification since after the earthquake of 85, right? And it's been 20 or 30 years, but it really got scaled up in the last 3-4 years with the pandemic and everything, but the prices have gone up a lot. then the
Yeah, Dumbo, it
inflation
takes
kicked
time
in.
to study Spanish. Don't worry. I'm so sorry, my brain's a little heavy. I know, like it takes time to get used to it. Oh, you said, oh my goodness, like I did. That's hilarious.
Later here, and so the last couple of years have been really tough for locals, tough for foreigners too, because I mean there's a lot of I don't know, exploitation of the
So
market, I think,
Dumbo,
from
this was uploaded by Channel 5 of Andrew. I can't pronounce his last name. And the video title is Mexico City Gentrification.
to own the apartments, no regulations from the government, and there's just been kind of this free for all. But I think things are kind of settling down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I've been here for 10 years. I'm a permanent resident. Pay my taxes.
Mexican brother.
Yeah. I don't have any plans to go back. Like I said, a permanent resident. I pay my taxes here. So I bought my apartment 10 years ago here, and it's probably where I'll die.
You pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. Crazy, bro.
No one likes to, but
Okay.
perfecto. That's it.
Hey guys, this is not an advertisement. If
Aw.
you speak Spanish or you want to learn Spanish, I have a great suggestion for you. Go to our Spanish language channel, Canal 6. We've gone through the process of overdubbing all of our classic videos in Spanish using real human voice actors. So if you want to go check out classics like Obla,
Oh, Jake Money, bro, le tengan miedo a ese loco, bro.
Hawk Twins,
Dos chicas negras en el Benz.
San Francisco Street,
Trabajo todos los días y camino entre mierda.
and beyond,
Coster es un póster con una C de mi maldito barrio.
go to Canal 5. I'm going to put the link in the description and the pinned comment. We're going to be posting there every single week with new overdubs of all the classics, as well as new content filmed all across Latin America. So if you want to support, head on over. Adios. The reason that I felt that it was important to illustrate these phases of gentrification in such detail is because it appears that Mexico City is somewhere between phase 2 and 3. While certainly more expensive than it was, Roma Norte hasn't been bulldozed completely to make way for glass condominiums. It certainly retains the vibrance and energy that made it attractive to Americans in the first place. Which leads me to a unifying conclusion that's more important than differences between language and nationality. No one, from the locals to the digital nomads, want Mexico City to change. The Americans, Russians, and French transplants Josue interviewed possess a genuine love for the place, and they aren't the ones raising the rent. It's the landlords, developers, real estate tycoons, and city government that make these calls, seeing an opportunity to capitalize on hyperinflated foreign currencies. If properly regulated, taxed, and accommodated, the influx of digital nomads could be a great thing for the city. This isn't something that neighborhood natives are totally blind to.
Sí nos afecta fuerte económicamente mucho, pero creo que en general a la ciudad le beneficia. Le beneficia porque se ve obligada a mejorar su respuesta.
La verdad, yo creo que eso es bueno. No se ve ni basura, hay más policías caminando, güey. Tapalapa no es un puto puerco caminando entre calles, güey.
Y basura en todos lados.
Y, güey, aquí no mames, un puto perro, ves. No está chido, güey.
No sé, yo creo que estoy en un punto medio porque pues es algo que no puedes detener. Simplemente pues es la evolución pues, de la vida y de las personas. Pues es un país, o sea, que acepta a todo el mundo, entonces no los puedes detener.
O sea, es bueno porque pues da de qué hablar, de que pues en realidad están como que sucediendo cosas buenas en las... Y pues como país tercermundista, yo creo que estamos avanzando, ya que yo creo más, estamos progresando.
Mexico City's Central Boulevard is undergoing a full-fledged renaissance as wealthy Mexican and international firms stake ever bigger claims on the landmark promenade.
La primera palabra que aprendí en español fue la cuenta perfecta.
La cuenta for the restaurant.
Una caña, una cerveza.
Okay.
It's creating tourism and money for all businesses.
Pero eso no deja de que pues, haya otras cosas, ¿no? Malas. Y pues de hecho mis dos amigos son extranjeros. O sea, la verdad es de que ya cambié mi círculo social, lo dejé atrás donde los amigos con los que allá, ¿por qué? Pues no había progreso, no veía progreso.
Oh, I got 6%. What to do?
Me gustaba. Y aparte lo más importante es de que pues todos estamos confabulados en esto, ¿no? I came here because of the war in Russia. Russians are fleeing the country. Flights from Moscow to all visa-free destinations selling out quickly.
Wow, Russia? Seriously? I don't blame them though. I don't. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna see if I could try to like get this damn phone turned on. It's only at 6%. Alright. I'm gonna open that TikTok. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm DJing. Me and my friend Blaine, we're making our project. It calls on. No hurry, no rush, no hurry. And also, I'm working as a waiter in
That's
a restaurant.
that's nice.
Okay, yeah. Blaine, mucho gusto. ¿De dónde eres? Soy de Estados Unidos, de Los Ángeles.
LA.
¿Qué te gusta más?
Nice.
¿México o Estados Unidos? Los dos tienen sus cosas chidas, pero ahorita más México sí me gusta. ¿Cuál es la razón por la que ahorita te gusta más México? La razón porque conocí a buenos amigos así y siempre me...
Yo creo que pues al final de cuentas lo positivo pues, es que puedes conocer a más gente, la mayoría de México, gente de diferentes países, ¿no? Y todos tenemos compas que son de otros
So
países.
basically, he says this is a good thing because you get to meet people from other countries. It's kind of true. Like, see, like, even though I may feel differently about our states, it's nice that we get people from like Minnesota. Like, I know like how Mexicans feel because we live like close to the border. Well, not that close, but we are almost half Mexican here. And just to see how like wow, like I get people, I got to be people from Chicago, Minneapolis, or maybe Seattle, or like I remember I saw a Tennessee license plate around our neighborhood. That's pretty cool, honestly. I'm thinking like, man, people like it here from the Midwest, and the Pacific Northwest. I don't know much about the South, but come to think of it, that guy that was friends, Brandon, he was from Michigan, and it's so cool. Like I see one of his friends before. They were nice, and man, like go Michigan, honestly, gorgeous state. And I do see some license plates in that state, and it's pretty cool, honestly. Let me see if I can log in or log back in. Come on, phone, please. Thank you. Damn it! I can't get this goddamn charger working. This damn semi-cold thing doesn't do jack. Piece of crap. God, I found my MacBook. Oh wait. Damn. I'll be the judge of that. It's kind of funny how my phone is getting so heated. No wonder it couldn't charge. Ugh. I'm at all. Yeah, man, I think I'm in the wrong account. Whatever. I can't fucking think right now. Yeah, this is my anonymous account. God damn it. Whatever. Might need to do this after the live stream. I'm not keeping that charge. If it dies, it dies. My damn thumb is tired. Okay.
Que pues es bien chida, ¿no? Y aprendes de su cultura.
When you really get to Mexico City, when you stay in these places, when you meet random cool artists on the street, you realize, bro, it's a beautiful place.
A beautiful place that will likely continue to grow at an exponential rate in the coming years, as inflation in the U.S., as well as the rising cost of living, make things like home ownership nearly unattainable for the millions of young professionals entering the white-collar workforce. A recent study conducted by MBO Business Partners suggested that 70 million Americans are currently expressing interest in adapting the digital nomad lifestyle. And of those 70 million, 9% are already putting their plans into motion. So what's been seen in Mexico City since COVID is just a beginning. In preparation for this mass migration, a number of countries like Japan have already introduced digital nomad visas, which require remote workers to file taxes in Japan, regardless of where their paycheck is coming from. Something similar was advocated for by Mexico City Councilwoman Frida Guillen, who proposed something called a digital nomad tax that would charge them all a flat fee of roughly 3,000 pesos or $155 per month. But this idea was shot down by her constituents and never really came to fruition, because after all, this was an inside job in the first place.
Airbnb recently struck a deal with local authorities to make this place one of 20 global destinations for so-called digital nomads.
The mass buyouts of apartments in these neighborhoods to convert them into Airbnbs and market them to wealthy foreigners was directly facilitated by the city government, who pulled no punches in evicting tenants without warning.
This woman has asked us not to reveal her identity. After her apartment building signed a deal with the home share company Airbnb, she was given 5 days to move out. She says short notice evictions are becoming commonplace across the city.
Que al final mucho de eso es, pues es un problema conjunto, ¿no? Porque también quienes están subiendo este precio son los propietarios que están aprovechando que están poniendo extranjeros aquí a andar, ¿no? Sí, porque los extranjeros no la están pidiendo, es de los propios mexicanos.
¿Lo suben ellos o lo suben los propietarios de estos?
No.